Sounds good.
All right. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. This is the second live stream for Tool Demos. It's to celebrate our 2-year anniversary on YouTube. And I've got with me a special guest. He's CP, the Tool Addict. If you haven't heard of him, you need to subscribe to his channel. He's got all sorts of tool information. He does videos, 3 times a week. He goes on live on Fridays. He gave up his time slot for me today so that we could be on here for this live stream. And I appreciate that, CP. Now, a little bit of background on CP. Used to be a Mac tools dealer. Then he went full-time as a mechanic. He does programming. He does diagnostics. He does mobile stuff. He can pretty much do it all. So if you've got a question about tools or auto repair, this is the man to talk to. Thanks for being with me here, CP. How's it going?
It's going good. I think you gave me a little bit more credit about. I mean, like I'm not the greatest mechanic in the world, but I've had my way. I've had my time in the industry, I guess, is my only thing. There's lots of guys out there that are substantially better nowadays. Mechanics has definitely changed. The industry has definitely changed in the last 20 years, evolving obviously with the computer stuff. And there's some guys that are pretty good out there. Keith DeFazio, I don't know if you've ever sine him, L1 Diagnostics.
Sure,
a lot of those guys are, they're up in their game. Obviously, S&MA Auto, Erico, Pine Auto. A lot of those guys are really, 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 really good. They're guys I look up to, And sometimes I've had to call on some people. That's the beautiful part about the community is calling on people that you can trust for good help. And there's nothing wrong with asking people for help.
Now, we've built a pretty good community here on YouTube. Yep. Instagram, Facebook, we're all over the place. I know you, I think, have a TikTok also. I don't use TikTok, but it's a really good way to grow that community. And people, what's cool? People from all over the world. I'm talking places I've never heard of. I had to look them up on a map, watch my videos, and they'll ask me questions about their car. It's probably the Toyota version in their market, but it's the same engine. It's the same nuts and bolts. And it's kind of cool. Like either they speak English or sometimes you can tell when they can't and they're using like a Google translator or something like that. But it's neat. I get to talk to someone who I never would have been able to talk to without this YouTube thing. And it's like a global community of just guys that want to get in there and wrench on cars. And I think it's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. It is. We got our first customer.
First customer, Raging Cajun. Let's see what he says. Hey, everyone. Remember to Hulk smash that like button. Heck yeah. What's up, Raging Cajun? Good to see you here. Thanks for being on with us. We're celebrating 2 years. So this is season 3 of Tool Demos. I've decided to change things up a little bit. You haven't seen too much of that yet, but I think here in the upcoming year, you're going to see a little bit of a different trend for Tool Demos. So I think it's going to be kind of cool. I'm changing it up all the time. Like my first year, I tried to do like tool reviews. Mm-hmm. And then I started doing more auto repair stuff and projects. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in season 3, but I think it'll be pretty cool.
It's always good.
Highway Visual. Yeah, I think I know who this is. I think this is Mr. W. If you want to say who you are, I'll say hello to you, but I think that's who you are. And I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being with us. Congratulations on the YouTube anniversary, he says. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, CP, you've been on YouTube for 3 years now, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. By the way, congratulations. I should have said that too. That's to stick around for, and you're like what, 16,000 subscribers strong now.
Yeah, and 16.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, 2 years, 16,000. I've been here 3 years. I got 13,000. And you've got a great channel, very informative, and people are missing out that don't get to watch you. I'll tell you that. I noticed. Did I message you this Monday? I said no video this week. I'm so tuned into your schedule.
Yeah, it was. We had the mower video. 2 weeks ago? I think it was.
2 weeks. Yep.
And then so I'm doing right now. Man, I am working out of a 2-car garage right now. I'm stepping over tools to go find other tools. And
Hey,
it's definitely different than working in that bigger shop that I had in Washington, which I gotta admit, I do miss that shop. I had a lot of space to put stuff and cars.
the thing about the 2-car garage stuff is that as more and more I watch YouTube, there's a lot of guys out there working out a 2-car garage, and I'm out of a 24 by 30, and I've got a hip roof, and I've got about 10 foot at the tallest peak, or not the peak, but the tallest area, so I can fit a decent truck in there and whatnot. But
Looks like we lost CP. He should be back here any moment. But I was talking about the shop that I was working out of before. You guys have seen that in my videos. It was 24 by 32. Here it comes again.
Yeah, don't touch your buttons don't touch your buttons while you're talking, because they'll kick you out. But it's a 24 by 30, and there's a lot of guys out there that they don't have the luxury of being in a big shop. So I think they appreciate somebody doing things, from that aspect. So what you got, brung what you run, or run what you brung.
That's right. Yeah, I've got a video coming up. I was gonna do it this weekend, but we'll see about that. We've got some hurricane stuff to deal with, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah. But I've got a super DIY version of a video that I did previously, and I hope the people will like it, the DIY people especially, because I'm working out of a 2-car garage here. I'm going to be using the most basic tools that I've been able to find. Nothing special, no special scan tools, nothing like that. And we're going to do the second transmission oil change on that Tundra. And, most Toyotas now, most cars now, they don't have dipsticks on their transmissions.
Yep.
And this one is something that you check from the bottom. And, you've got to have a scan tool to check the temperature of the oil and all that kind of stuff. So I've kind of got this is a spoiler alert, but I've got a new method that I've come up with that I think is going to help the DIY people that don't have or don't want to spend, we'll say, $500 in tools, $1,000 in tools just to do an oil change on their transmission. So hopefully, seeing me working out of a 2-car garage, people will be able to say, yeah, I think I can do that.
GagTech 45 has got a good question for you, but I don't know if you want to answer that now or wait until we get into that subject. Obviously, this is kind of a bad week to avoid this topic, because it's been quite interesting.
Yeah, that Hurricane Ian. We're basically from the desert. We lived in Washington for a while, and that's where you all have seen all of our videos come out of, was Washington. But really, I'm a desert guy. I'm from Las Vegas, and we're here in Florida. And so we just moved about a month ago, and we've been tracking a hurricane for over a week now. And it's a different process. We've got just out at the back door, we've got sandbags piled up 3 high at the door because we didn't want our house to flood. And we've got a tub full of water because who knows if the water's going out. We've got bottled water out here. We've got, flashlights. We've got all of these preparations that you just don't think about. Well, I know CP, you live in the Midwest, so maybe Tornado Alley, that's something. A hurricane is like a gigantic tornado, really.
We had a derecho with 150 mile an hour wind. So, what was it? 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, 3 years, I can't remember, but knocked the corn stalks over to the ground flat. And I don't know. There's lots of videos where people have seen that, and it wasn't fun. So I kind of was like, the derecho is a land hurricane, which is right. Weird for people to say. A lot of people when I said I was in a derecho, they're like, "What is that?" And I was like, "It's a land hurricane." They're like, "You're in Iowa. There's no such thing." And I'm like, "Unfortunately, I didn't think there was neither, but until you experience it." I was actually driving truck at the time, and I was stuck on the side of the road in the middle of it and watching corn stalk leaves hit my windshield. and the pucker factor was absolutely ridiculous. Like it didn't give us, we didn't get any warning. That's the thing about it, is like we had no idea. They just thought it was a storm. Nobody knew. I mean, it's not something that's common. So it was ridiculous, but nonetheless.
You get the sirens like you do with the tornadoes and anything like that?
Nothing. There was no warning for that. But on tornadoes, yes, we do. But for that, there was no. I mean, they literally. I was out in the truck. Nobody. Everything was normal day. Like it happened at noon. I can't remember what day it was during the week, if it was like a Thursday or Friday, but I remember it was not. And I was out of power for a week here,
Right.
and they brought in utility men from, much like they're doing in Florida. And I actually, not to change gears on this, but I've actually been already offered a job down in Florida to come help down there that I might actually entertain doing, because with being able to have a CDL and whatnot, I have a buddy that's got a company, and they got contracted already to go down there and help clean up. So it might be going to Florida for the winter, which is not a bad
place to be in the wintertime. That's for sure.
I've been looking for a reason to get out of Iowa. So
yeah, for sure. And the question is, do I regret being in Florida now that I've survived a hurricane? And no, absolutely not. Matter of fact, my wife just yesterday, I think she said she found her forever home, super happy. Or was that today? I think it was today. She said she found her forever home. She's super happy. I'm super happy. And I've been saying that all week. When people ask me at work or whatever, how do you like it here? I said, I found my happy. For a little bit of time in Washington, I was not happy. I wasn't happy to go to work or, really at all. And this has helped me a lot. This has helped the whole family. So we're really glad. And we are fortunate and blessed to be in Florida, in the part of Florida where we are. It's Jacksonville. And if you watch the hurricane track, it came around to the Gulf side of Florida and really smashed that hard there in southern Florida. Venice, we have some friends down there. They had to evacuate. A lot of people lost their homes.
Yeah. Fort Myers. I watched the Cletus video just here a little bit ago, and unbelievable. I saw the cow. I don't want to switch gears again, but it's hard to not talk about this. But I saw the cows in the middle of the water, and for some reason that really hit home with me. Like the one thing that I've never had to experience. I mean, I've seen floods. We had a couple cattle a couple years ago. We had a creek at our farm, and we had a flash flood, and our creek divided the field, and one of the cows tried crossing when it was really high, and she got stuck in the mud. And my dad called me, and I'm 2 hours away from the farm was back then. And I came up there, and we were fighting getting this cow out of this rainwater while trees were coming down, and we didn't end up saving her. And we spent like 8 hours with 2 tractors, chains, straps. We broke every strap that we had on the property. Wow. And like I can't even imagine those poor animals. I've seen those cows, and that for some reason it just really. I was watching Cletus' video, and for some reason it really hit me. I was like, it reminded me of that time with my dad when we fought that, and I was like, man, poor. I hate seeing farmers lose livestock, but those animals, like, what do you do when you're in that situation and it hits? It's so hard to control animals. We tried bringing them across the creek before the rain, and then we, tried keeping them on this side of the pasture, and they do what they want to do sometimes, and you just can't really control them. And when it's happened so fast, you don't know what it is what it is. But like so many things, and then people trapped in their houses and watching the devastation. I mean, there's going to be more to come. I saw pictures, but it's absolutely it never gets easy to see. You know what I mean?
No.
It's so
yeah, that hurricane, it kind of went out into the Atlantic around Jacksonville. So we just got a little bit of wind and rain, and now it's heading back to the coast over, I think in South Carolina now is sort of where it's headed. Yeah, it's back up to a Category 1, last I heard anyway. So that thing is not done. It's picking up steam. And, like I said, we were blessed to have, we had an easy time with it. A little bit of wind and rain. In our backyard, we got a tree was uprooted. It was really wet and it just kind of blew over, and the fence was holding it up. So we cut the top of that off and saved the fence. And then the fence on the other side of the house blew over at night. We had some transformers blow and a little bit of a power outage, but that's it. No loss of life, no loss of houses, that kind of stuff, which is definitely happening down in southern Florida and super terrible down there. And so if you can help with that cleanup effort or whatever it is that they want you to help with, that would be awesome. I'm sure they definitely need it.
Well, I passed up on when they did the deal. What was the one down in Louisiana? Was it Irene? When they had the deal down there? I passed up on that when I was younger.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
To go down to that deal, and Katrina. All my buddies went down there, and they said it was like one of the most humbling experiences. The sad part about it is the money is kind of a moot point. My theory is on this is I want to help people out. B, obviously getting compensated is kind of an issue because you got to go down there, but there's no place to stay, so you have to basically bring your own camper or some sort of, that's your bet, so that's not a problem. But just going down there and help those people out because they're going to need all the help they can get. And if I was in a situation like that, I feel like as an American, that's exactly the thing I want to do. I mean, like, obviously, there are reservations because of the money thing. I'd love to go down and do it for free, but you can't do anything for free. But I mean, I just couldn't. I couldn't be able to leave my house for 2 or 3 months and go down and do that. Yeah. But helping the people, I feel the need to go down and offer some sort of, like, I mean, anybody that can do it, if they have opportunity to do it, I think that would be, it's worthwhile. If you got a camper and you've got some time, like, drag it down there, find a place, set up your generator, and just help. I mean, I couldn't believe it. The boats, the tide is so far out. They were saying that they were going to have problems getting boats back in the water because the tide was so far out. And they're waiting for it to come back up. And it's crazy. It didn't seem as bad when I was watching it, I guess, until what I've seen the pictures now. So nonetheless.
Yeah. You said cows were out there. Everything seems upside down. I saw pictures of boats floating down city streets, and, Mrs. S was talking about sharks being out swimming in city streets. Just everything's upside down. It's totally crazy.
I seen a picture of a manatee or something that was in the middle. They got killed. It got abandoned there or something. And it was just laying on a sidewalk. I mean, it's just holy cow.
And they get washed in and then stranded probably.
Yeah. And I don't know, because a manatee, I don't know if they can survive out of water or whatnot. I don't know what the story. I just seen a picture of it and it blew my mind. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You just don't realize the things that like, until you start. I don't even know why I was looking at the pictures. Obviously, it's devastation and it's like a train wreck. You can't look away. But when you start seeing that stuff, you start to realize, man, these people they're going through a lot more than what I anticipated. I was like, Florida people are tough. They go through hurricanes. I was like, but then when you see it, the way, and they're saying this is one of the top 5 in history or something like that now. So
it was pretty heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what blows my mind. I don't know.
Just watching video of 155 mile an hour winds, like you don't know what that is until you see something like that. Even in our neighborhood, we've got trees that are stripped of their branches, or palm trees that are just getting stripped. But there, man, just incredible to see that. It's nothing else like it. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, when you see corn stalks stripped of leaves and laying down flat, it really brings into perspective how powerful the wind can. Mother Nature is a devastating force when she wants to be. Water, fire, wind, it doesn't matter what it is. It's absolutely insane of the amount of power that it can do. The devastation, it's crazy. But I honestly, when I first saw, I was like, this is a hurricane, like it's going to be bad. But I felt like, like even listen to Cletus McFarland before he was like, oh, this building's hurricane proof. And, I mean, everything they said, they all sounded like, yeah, we can do this. We can handle this. And dude, I'm like, man, this is beyond somebody can handle this. It was devastating. I just boats on top of buildings and just the animals and whatnot. The animal thing is what really got to me. I'm an animal lover. So seeing the cows and whatnot. I mean, there was a bull. If you watch the Cletus McFarland video, there was a Charolais bull that was out in the middle. There was no land around, and he's just walking around in the water. And I was like, unfreaking believable. And then I was just like, yeah, I mean, they're not going to get saved. It's up to them because their life isn't more valuable than humans. And then there was an old man that was stuck. They rescued out in the middle. He'd been sitting on his truck with his 2 dogs for 24 hours. Like he basically, I guess the story was, there were stories all over about it. And I read it, and apparently he got stranded there, tried to get out of his truck, wouldn't start or something, and he was setting in his truck, and Cletus and those guys got there to rescue him. The helicopters are finding these people, and then the airboats can't get into them, and like Cletus's jet boat was the only one they could get. You don't realize how bad it is to get to somebody. That's what was really crazy to me. So I know we're getting off topic on the hurricane stuff, but it's definitely a subject that's pretty passionate right now. It's just I've been, when I listen to people today, I just can't. I can't even imagine. I just can't. I'm blown away. I really am. I'm just blown away more than I ever have been in my life. I don't know.
Yeah, the people that have been affected by that are going to be affected by it are definitely in our prayers, and we hope they get through this thing okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, could you imagine some people, they've been evacuated and they're not going to go back and see a house. They're going to see just devastation when they get back home. Like I said, we've got friends there in Venice, and here's a story. When we were in Washington, we put our house up for sale. I think it was the week after our next door neighbors sold their house. They sold it, when the market was hot. They sold it like the same week that they listed it. So these neighbors, they decided they were going to move to Florida, and they did do that, but they stopped in Idaho, sort of like we did. We stopped in Idaho for about a month. Anyway, we got here about a month ago, and they got to Florida about a week ago. And they were, like I said, in southern Florida, and they had to be evacuated a week after they moved there. Just amazing. And I haven't talked to them yet. I need to know what their story is. I hope everything went well for them, but right now I just don't know. But it's kind of crazy how we were neighbors in Washington. Now 3,000 miles away, we're neighbors here.
Just when you think it's a good idea to move. And
during hurricane season.
We better get to seeing what we got. 23 people in here watching.
What's up, everybody? We've got Raging Cajun says he can't wait to get back into his own garage again. And I can imagine, like, if you don't have a garage at all, like here I am complaining about a 2-car garage. Highway Visual. Oh yeah, you're in Oklahoma City. You're in a tornado alley there, so yeah, you know what those preps are like.
You got OG Scuba. What's up?
OG Scuba Steve, fishing Steve-O.
Yep.
I think, is that a different screen name?
No, it's the same guy. It's Steve-O, OG Fishing Steve-O. He's on Instagram, and he's got a shop in Boston area somewhere. He's Upper East Coast. Yeah, he just started his own shop this year, so he is getting into the world of I'm now my own boss, and it's more Baltimore area.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bad deal. Like he's like, yeah, get your own business, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, start your own business. Everyone says it'll be fun. They say. No,
yeah. I mean, and then you find out you're the worst boss that you've ever had, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot more work than people think, and then add YouTube or something like that on top of it, plus your family. He's got
Mhm.
kids. He's got a young kid, and I mean, it's a lot more work than what you think. So,
Yeah, you put a lot of hours into this stuff.
yep.
You know, I in Vegas, not so much in Washington, but in Vegas, I ran a side hustle shop. So I was my own boss, but after work and on the weekends. And Mrs. S, she was the scheduler, so her phone would be ringing constantly with people trying to make appointments, and then her trying to track them down when their car is ready and all that stuff. So we were
Right.
pretty busy. I love my own space, just hate the bills. Exactly. Yeah, you've got to pay everybody. Everyone's got their hand out, including the tax man. Not something that you're used to doing.
Right.
Tony, Nuts and Bolts with Tone. Congrats on 2 years. Thank you very much, Tony. Tony is another YouTuber whose channel is absolutely blowing up for good reason. He's got a lot of good content on there. He is a master tech on mostly diesels. I think that's what he specializes in, but he can work on pretty much anything. And he'll do YouTube videos on changing out turbos and intakes and stuff like that on Power Strokes. He works on the Sprinter vans, a lot of Sprinter vans. So if you've got diesel questions, check out Nuts and Bolts with Tone. Look at his channel. He's got all the answers there. And if he doesn't, send him a message. He will definitely answer. He's said that in the past, that he will answer people's questions. All they got to do is ask. So thanks for being here, Tony. Good to see you here. Yeah, Baltimore, he says.
Hey, what's up? We got Larry Borgstrom. Oh, I'm getting ahead of you.
Yeah, I'm moving through the chat kind of slow here. We moved from Michigan. We're at a huge garage. Oh man, yeah. And then to Tennessee, where we're still looking for a place to buy. Yeah, that's exactly what I feel like here. We're in Florida looking for a place. We don't even know what part of town or the outskirts of town that we want to live in yet, but I've been looking.
What else we
See if
got
I
in
can
here?
catch up here. Long time no see, Ag Tech.
Never
Yeah,
did.
you never
Nope.
exactly. When you're your own boss, you never give yourself time off because you're the world's toughest boss.
Yep. Harvey Mushman.
Oof. Yeah, Harvey says he lays on cardboard in the mud working on his car. That sucks. Man, I tell you what. Anytime I complain about my conditions, I'm just going to remember that because that sucks.
There's a lot of guys. I mean, dude, there's a lot of guys on YouTube doing it. You know, I mean, Pole Barn Garage has got a pretty primitive setup. He doesn't even have doors on the front of his shop on one part of it. He lives in Kansas City, which is not warm in the wintertime at all. Like, I mean, it's still southern. It's south of me, but it's not. I know how Kansas City is, and it's not fantastic in the wintertime. So, I mean, dude, and that's the way I started my life. I mean, I hate it. It sucks, but you got to do what you got to do, man. If you want to save some money and fix your own stuff, dude, the salt of the earth type of stuff right there, it works. It still does not get you. I mean, like jacking your car up, doing some brakes in the driveway, that is the American way. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? That is the American way. That's where I'm at right now. You know, I mean, I get opportunities to work in some shops and contract some stuff out. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still working out of my little setup.
Yep. And Larry Borgstrom, what's up, Larry? Thanks for being here. I know you're on CP's live all the time.
Yep.
I'm glad that you're here.
Yep.
And that reminds me of, I go into like a junkyard and they've got no pavement or whatever. They just got mud, and you're working in the mud, and when you're at your shop, you complain that, oh, I don't have the snap-on version of this wrench or whatever. Man, you get out there in the mud and you're just glad to have a wrench. You want to get that thing off and get out of there. So
absolutely,
it's weird how your perspective changes.
I can tell you this much. I have fixed a lot of tractors growing up on the farm in not less than ideal places. I remember one winter, this is no joke, one winter, I mean, Ag Tech, anybody that's grown up on the farm can tell you this. I have had times where your block heater goes out of your tractor, okay? And I lived up north, okay? The winters up north in northern Iowa are brutal. The worst winter I remember having was both of our tractors were down. We needed to feed the cattle, and we got hit with a negative 30 wind chill, and I think it was like negative 10 or 15 degrees. Tractors wouldn't start, so we had to tarp the tractors, torpedo heat them, try to get them started, and we worked all day to get the tractors started. And the neighbors' tractors wouldn't start. I mean, we had just absolutely an atrocious deal. And dude, froze our butts off. You work until you couldn't work no more. Went in, warmed up, had the torpedo Peter. We made a makeshift tarp. I mean, we had the tractors were in a lean-to basically. I mean, there was there was this roof, but there was no shelter. I mean, we threw down hay to work on, and snow was blowing in. I mean, it's just, I remember I remember putting a clutch in an old C50 Chevy dump truck when I was a kid, and we put the Z-bar in, and the frame was tweaked, and it was an absolute nightmare. Because
just to get the holes to line up and everything.
Yep, the Z-bar, and we were in the driveway of the house, and I was when my dad had a construction company when I was a kid. And I mean, I can tell you multiple. I mean, everybody's got those stories where you just did something. It was absolute. Now I refuse to do. I will say I'm a little more bougie now, but that's one of those things. My grandpa always said, "Work smarter, not harder." It's just not worth it, fighting it for me anymore after doing it so many times. My theory is it's better to wait. So if I have to I can put a transmission in if I have to, but I don't want to. I definitely go out of my way to get a lift. But at the end of the day, there's some things that I will do and some things I won't do. Wintertime, you're not going to see me do as much work in my shop. Because I'll be, going. I have access to. I've got access to another shop again, where I'm going to have some free reign coming up. Hopefully, that'll be a deal coming in the future. But things are. I'm just fortunate, being around it and having shops and whatnot that are close by, and I can do things. Problem is private property. I will tell you this. One thing about doing what I do and going mobile is there's I don't know how if you realize, but when you are doing videoing, when you're filming places, you do not have the right to video on private property.
Not without their permission, right?
Correct. And people just do not understand that. I mean, like if I ask and they say no, I don't have any choice. And not many people like getting videoed. I can tell you that and the more and more you see videos exposing people, it's definitely making people gun shy. So, and not only that, dealerships are cracking down on it with people getting videos in cars, and then they have license plates and privacy issues. I mean, and the other thing is the people that are trolls and the things that they're doing. That's the reason why bad people cause these issues. It's not as simple as just making a video, and if I film in a customer's car at a private shop and I've already had to deal with it. People saying you didn't have the right to film or nothing, you didn't tell me no.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a challenge. So
yeah, I know if you follow Ford Tech Maybe Loco, he's got a channel. He used to be a Ford tech for a Ford dealership. And really brilliant guy, knows everything, inside and out on Fords. And one day his boss gave him a choice. He said, YouTube or your job. And he said, YouTube. And he had no plan, nothing. Like it was just one day, it was boom, gone. And he ended up going home, opening up a shop in his garage temporarily while he found a commercial shop, and he's successful now. He's got a backlog of customers for months waiting on an appointment, and he's doing really well. But it's kind of scary, your boss just comes in and tells you that. And I guess now all of his customers know, hey, this guy's a YouTube guy and my car could end up on YouTube. He may even have some sort of release or something like that, who knows. But
right, yeah, I almost guarantee that most people that have their cars are getting, you almost have to, because you show somebody's car on there and they don't want it, or some license plate. I don't know, you can't ever be too careful. The one thing that when you're talking about renting a shop, I leased a shop for a year when I first started YouTube. I had a lease with a shop. I actually leased with a buddy, and that went absolutely horribly south. And I realized, I don't ever want to lease a shop again. The prices are ridiculous to leasing a shop, and B, why would I waste my money on giving it to somebody else for a shop? Like that's been my biggest problem. The problem is you got to have more capital, to get that.
Yeah. Or a way to get like a loan or something like that. That can get you into trouble though.
Yep, exactly. Well, and that's just it. I'd rather save up more money and be able to do it myself. Now, the other thing is when you're trying to do work for a business out of your home, then you have to deal with the city. There's so many hoops to jump.
Yeah.
As a small business, like if I want to do YouTube videos and fix cars and do YouTube, that's one business. But if I'm doing it for customers, that's another business. So I have this thing that I'm concerned that I have a loophole. So I can fix cars on YouTube for money, but then I have to make the money from YouTube. I also can take donations, and then that keeps me from being a auto repair business,
right,
in my home. So there's so many just hoops to jump. I mean, the city doesn't want you having a business at your home, which is dumb because how many people work from home? It's just it's ridiculous.
Yeah, just not on cars, Mr. Grease Monkey guy.
Yeah, well, and I live in the area I live in is a bougie area too, in Des Moines. Not gonna lie to you, it's a bougie. That's why I bought the property here, because I got a smoking deal on it, and it was foreclosure, and I knew I was gonna make money. So
yeah.
That's the thing.
Bill Beckett, what's up? I'm glad to see you here. He's a force on the YouTube lives. He's always in here. He's a really cool guy.
He is a solid follower of people, and a solid he's a solid guy. I haven't seen him as much in my streams. A couple of them he's missed mine, but he's been around my live streams since I first started. So he's a lifer. He's a I don't know how you put it. He's just a solid guy, man. The guy is he's always there.
Maybe you need to give your fan club a name, the CP fan club or something like that.
Oh, we're the Tool Addict Nation.
The Tool Addict Nation. There you go.
Yeah, we already have a name. It's the Tool Addict Nation.
The Tool Addict Nation.
We got a bunch of people coming in here now.
How many people we got on board now?
22 watching, but we got some more people through the comments. We better get caught up with
Yeah, let's get caught up on the comments.
You get the chat going more with people coming in. I had a hell of a week this week. I'll tell you that with YouTube. It was I dropped some bangers, some good ones that went out there.
I like that. What do you call it? The pit wrench, the gear
gender fluid.
Gender fluid.
Yeah, the gender fluid. The gender fluid Gearberg, I think, is where we pretty much came up to. Yeah. Well, even Last Best Tool, Doc from Last Best Tool even did a video about gender fluid tools, where they don't identify as one thing. I'm pretty sure that there were some people that were that's a good way to get the scummiest comments. And I'm like, is it really? I use the terminology, it's a transgender tool. It's a terminology that's not relevant to anything. It's to identify. The actual definition of gender fluid is to something that doesn't identify as one thing. It is not specific to a person or anything like that. So, I mean, it works for me.
Now, Pittsburgh, those are, Pittsburgh Pro, I don't know, but Pittsburgh, that's China, isn't it?
Well, this socket is clearly from China. Now, I think the issue is Gearwrench is not manufacturing some sockets in China, and somehow there is stuff that's going to China. There isn't, and the problem is quality control. And if you read the comments, there's a lot of people that definitely agree. Gearwrench has slipped quality. Us guys that have been around for a couple decades, us dinosaurs, or the boomers as the young guys, even though I'm
okay, boomer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're 35, you're a boomer now. Like, that's the go-to term, which I hate these terms. It's so dumb. You know, people try to categorize people, and it's just like, come on, dude. It's like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, you know, but nonetheless, I've been around Gearwrench, and when Gearwrench first came out, Gearwrench came out in 1995. That was right at the height of my mechanical interest, and I remember when I was a Mac dealer, Gearwrench was that was a go-to. People wanted Gearwrench, but when they first came out, they were Taiwan, they were good, and then they started changing up. And about 2008ish, they started slipping into some Chinese stuff, and people were talking about how this was garbage, and you know there was people breaking. I mean, dude, I remember warranting Gearwrench. I sold Gearwrench, you know, because at the time Mac didn't have anything but Blackhawk. And most people that want to buy the Blackhawk wrenches because they had a weird flipper, which actually, to be honest with you, I loved them, and I wish I'd have never sold my set. I was an idiot, and one of these days I will buy a set back.
One?
No, they had like a triangle. They had like a diamond shaped flipper on them.
Okay,
but they were strong. They worked good. That's the thing is they worked absolutely phenomenal. They were great. So. But that being said, people were weary of them because Gearwrench had a better reputation with the ratchet wrench. They were the manufacturer, and so KD then bought Gearwrench. I think is what the deal is. Apex and KD bought Gearwrench or something like that, and they, you know, started. That's when Apex started getting into it. And once Apex puts their hands into it, it's like literally having a mechanic knead dough. It's going to turn dirty. So. You know, Mid-Atlantic, how's it going?
Mid-Atlantic is here. What's up? Thanks for being on the stream. I'm still trying to get through. I'm not caught up yet.
Yeah, we better run through because that's what gets the chat fired up. It's saying hi to all these guys, and I see the chat's kind of moving a little bit slower.
Little setup. Yeah, you've got a little setup there in your shop. A little, what, 3 toolboxes?
4. Well, I got 2 toolboxes and 2 cards, so, and I got another toolbox on order.
Yeah, that I can't wait for you to reveal. I can't wait to see what it's going to be. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Ragin says, or you're laying in cow poop. Yeah, if you're working on a farm, you better hope it's mud. Sometimes it's not. No, it can be a whole lot worse than that.
I'll be honest with you, horse poop and cow poop has never bothered me. I could roll around in it.
Yeah, it's basically grass. It's like, you know, it's been gone through the mill, but it's just grass.
When you grow up on a dairy farm, you smell like that all the time, and I think it at some point becomes real. You know, what it is.
I think dairy farms aren't as bad as pig farms. Pig farms, that's just bad. I don't like that.
I don't. The pig smell is a little bit more robust, but yeah, the pigs are dirtier animals, but they're smarter, so they're more challenging, and they can definitely be more aggressive.
Scuba Steve says working outside in the mud in the winter makes your hands crack when they're so cold. That used to happen to me, believe it or not, in Vegas because it's so dry there. Yeah, in the wintertime, it's always windy in the wintertime, and that wind gets on there. And I remember my knuckles used to crack and bleed. Then it would hurt and be super itchy. Man, it was terrible. I didn't like that at all. Yeah, working in the snow or mud sucks. So I don't know much about working in the snow, other than chaining tires. CP probably knows plenty about chaining tires in the snow. That sucks. Eventually, it gets a bit old.
just a quick. I'm gonna do a 30-second deal. I never chained tires. I was
never chained them.
I'll be honest. I mean, I grew up driving in the snow all the time. So, like when I was driving truck, I chained. I take that back. I chained up once, but we used to have. I don't know if you had them, but we had these. Chain, what are they called? The single chains that were just like one little loop that would cheater chain. Yeah. And that's all I ever used. That's all I ever had to use. But
Man, I could never make those work.
We're far enough north. We didn't get as much ice, and I don't know. I don't know what the stipulation is for chaining, but I mean chaining tractors. Yeah, we chain tractors all the time. But as far as semis, dude, I've drove through some nasty winters with no chains on.
Man, you don't have any passes you got to do. Maybe some hills or something like that. But out in Washington, really anywhere in the mountain states. Man, you get some of these passes, they're 7% grades. You've got no choice, man. There's snow on the ground. You got to put chains on that thing.
Dude, I don't understand going down them. Going up them is a piece of cake. Going down them is where my life is just not happy, especially in a wiggle wagon. You know how those things are like a rattlesnake. They coil up. I watched a couple trucks. I had one incident where I had a wiggle wagon, which if you guys don't know is doubles. Me and Steve both had hauled doubles before. When I worked for Conway, used to run long haul and run doubles, but going up not a crazy grade. I was going up a hill and it was sheer ice. So I was coming back through an interstate from Kansas City actually one day. They shut the interstate down the minute I got on it. And if you got off, you were stranded.
You're done. That's where you're staying.
Yeah, you're done. You're done. Mm-hmm. And so I had no choice but to go. And there was already a foot of snow on the highway. And so I got all the way back to Des Moines, and they had gotten the interstate cleared off by Des Moines, and it was just sheer ice. That's what happens when you clear it off. That's worse with the snow on. I always said that. I was like, I'd rather drive in snow than when it's cleared off, because the day after is always worse than the day of, in my opinion. And I was coming up the hill.
Yeah, if the snow is fresh, I'd say.
And I was coming up the hill, and I lost traction, and it started spinning. And it just immediately shoots out. Mm-hmm. The truck does. The single axle shoots out. And I was looking at my rear trailer through my driver's window, like directly down the side of the trailer. And somehow I just blurped the throttle.
There you go.
I'm hanging up.
It's either you or me. I'm not sure if it's me or not, but
I'm as close to my router as could be, and I think I've got 300 and some gig of service, so hopefully it's not.
It may have been me.
I don't know. Anyways, long story short, as I blurped the throttle, straightened it out. That was my. I pulled the seat out of my butt, got out of the truck. I was done. Mm-hmm. I was glad to be done. I took the next 4 days off.
Man, yeah, I know what that pucker factor is like, man. It's terrible. I've been in a couple sticky situations, and I don't wish that on anybody. It's pretty something that I got to deal with hurricanes now, but don't have to deal with going over a 7% grade in the snow.
The one thing that I will say after driving semis for almost 15 years is driving doubles, even triples. There's nothing worse in the snow. Like we used to beg them to let us haul 53 footers when it was snowing out.
They won't do it.
Mm-hmm. No, and it's so ridiculous. I mean, it's so dangerous.
Some of the times I'd have the opportunity to drive a twin screw tractor, and that means 2 axles in the rear driving. Usually when you're pulling wiggle wagons, you've got one drive axle on that tractor, and that's where it's real short, so it's real squirrely, don't have any traction, and that's just the worst. But the once you get in a twin screw, your life changes, man. It's just that much better. So a lot of trucks that are in snowy climates, they started buying those.
Yep. Who we got here? We got a bunch.
Steve says, got to give you guys props because I don't have the time to make YouTube videos. I tell you what, it takes time until you get like a sort of a formula, I guess you might call it, of making the video while you're working on something. It still takes 2 or 3 times longer than it would normally to do a job. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
Raging Cajun says the same thing.
Making car repair videos is frustrating to me. I will say that and then I see the editing you put into it. I mean, and I think you talked about how long does it take you to edit a video for one of your Monday videos usually on typical average?
Just to
or make
bare
from
bones,
start to
simple
finish,
video.
start to finish.
You're talking like 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just that's a simple one. That's not like, doing, a head job or something like that.
And then the payout, it's so astronomically well that
Oh yeah, yeah. You're making tons of money doing that.
yeah, like that big $10, $15, $20 check for that 4 hours. So at average of $5 an hour, you're actually making, you could have a better career at doing something at McDonald's. So this
you want fries with that?
Yeah, this is a labor of love to do YouTube. I pumped out, so I don't know if you knew, but this week I pumped out 6 videos. Oh, you there? Did I lose you?
I am here. Yeah, you put out a lot of videos this week. Can you still hear me?
1, 2. Yeah, I can hear you. You blinked out for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos this week. And I'm not making as elaborate videos as you are, but that still in total added an extra 15 hours to my week.
Yeah, and you're not no 40-hour-a-week guy either.
No, hell no. I start at 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. And like tonight, I just told Steve, I said, I just got home at 6:45. So usually a 12-hour day. And granted, I'm not going to say I'm working my ass off for the whole day. I mean, I do definitely take my time, more so than I ever have been. But as well as I do, working in the business that we worked in, that was not the case for working a 12-hour day. Every one of those days was rush for 12 hours straight.
Oh yeah.
And that was my mentality for a long time. Since I've become on my own, now my mentality is I'd rather work a 14-hour day at my pace because I'm tired and I hate the clock. I hate looking at the watch. So, I kind of set stuff up willy-nilly. I mean, I could definitely work harder and make more money. There's no doubt about it. But I'm more of a, I like to just take it nice and easy now.
At that point, you're basically trading your body for money. That you just can't keep going that way. You will eventually crash, and that's gonna suck.
Yeah, and I'm not making like $10,000 a week neither. I mean, like I said, I could.
Yeah.
That's the thing about working for myself. I have lower overhead, whereas if I had a shop, that was the other stress. Is when you have a shop, now you have to cover those costs. And that is something that also weighed on me when I did this. Like, okay, so do I want to open a shop and then I have to cover, $10,000 a month before I even start making anything? And I said, you know what? I just like to be an old hillbilly and do this on my own and make some money and, make $2 or $3 grand a month if I have to. Or make $5,000 a month, or if I have a good month, like I had a great month. The last 3 months I've had a pretty decent month. Probably average closer between $3,000 to $5,000 maybe a month, which is not going to break any records for being. I'm not going to beat Donald Trump on any type of income. That's pretty standard blue collar stuff right there.
No, but you've got the opportunity, like you were talking about, doing the thing in Florida, maybe for a couple months. You're not doing that if you're paying, a few $1,000s a month in rent just for your shop and all the other expenses, insurance and licenses and everything. There's no way you could even consider doing that.
No, exactly. And that's the freedom that I have too. That's exactly why if I want to do something different, I can say, hey, look, guys, I have a shop that can handle some of my overflow. And I can say, hey, these guys are going to handle my stuff, blah, blah, blah. But I get kind of slow in January. December and January. So, and obviously I'm saving up for that, but I really want to try something, I like doing something different. And it would be, here's the other thing. It gives me an opportunity to explore the area. And if I decide maybe I want to move that way or do something that way, I can say, hey, I've been there. I know the area. And I've never really explored Florida. So it's an opportunity for me. It's an excuse for me to explore an area, get paid for it. And, that's the real reason behind a lot of what I want to do besides helping people out is that I get an excuse to explore an area and say, hey, you know what? This would be nice to come down here So open up shop, hit a few shops and say, look, I do this. I can come in and help you guys out. It's not that hard to get business. I will tell you what I'm doing is there's some ups and downs to it. There's some pros and cons. What I'm doing is you can walk into any shop and say, hey, if you guys need any help, I can be backup. And there's a lot of shops.
The way things are now, I mean, you could go pretty much anywhere and someone's going to know who you are.
Right. Yeah. And the other thing is that's the other thing is I can go work at, let's say there's somebody that I meet on YouTube and says, I can go work in their shop. Say, hey, if you want me to come down and help you, man, I'll work out a deal, man. You just pay me $20 an hour or something like that, where I can cover my room and board and gas money. And, I'm not looking to get rich off this. That's the thing about it is that I don't ever foresee this being, I mean, I've been doing this for 3 years now, and I have not even come close. That's the big misconception I see with a lot of people on YouTube. They think that it's going to be, and I can tell you right now, that $800 a month for somebody who's trying to, it's not going to change your life. And people can look at my channel. I get decent views. The video views are what really matter, and I get decent views on those, and that's not going to change your life. I can promise you.
No. Yeah, the same for me. I've got, something coming in from YouTube, but it all goes back into the channel. Yes. I'm buying cameras and mics and computers, and a surprise that I'll tell you about later on in the live stream. You guys will see that. Yeah. Let's get to the chat real quick. Highway Visual says, Stevie, you and Mrs. S have a good evening. Congratulations on all the success. Very, very happy that you're safe and happy. Thank you, Highway Visual. I appreciate it. Any relation to the icon guy? Not sure what that means, Craig. Maybe he's talking to CP. CP.
I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Some people say stuff that I don't understand sometimes.
Tony, Steve, check in later. Oh, see, yeah, Tony's spending some time on his channel. He's got to do some editing. That's I know that feeling. All right, Tony, have a good weekend, man. I appreciate it. Got to smack that like button. That's right. Thank you, Scuba.
Yep.
Fishing Steve-O. Tyler, what's up?
Oh, look at that.
Glad to see you here. I haven't seen you in a while. I've seen some of your stuff on Instagram. He hasn't been on YouTube. And just like we were talking about YouTube taking time, YouTube be taking some time. But he's got project cars in his garage. And if he's willing to put that on YouTube, I'd sure like to see what's going on in there.
Wasn't he on somebody's live here not a couple weeks ago? That we was on Country Mile Garage's live stream, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was on Country Miles Garage, and he was talking. He was actually working for a second. He actually was talking about buses and stuff. Because I remember asking him, I was like, "What do you think?" I was like, "I never worked on those buses," and I thought those rear engine buses just kind of look like a pain in the butt. And he was commenting about all that. So,
yeah, he's been working on buses for a while, and he's doing pretty good. Taking a lot of classes. He's got some expertise, man. He knows what he's doing over there.
Absolutely, he's a guy that's sticking with his craft. I love it.
Yeah, you've got the John Deere hat. You know what? I remember in Washington, Idaho, that area, it was in the, panhandle of Idaho. And it gets into October and it starts snowing. Like, no joke. It's winter for 9 months out of the year. So I don't know what it's like in Iowa, but it's probably not hot.
No, it's right now it is a whopping 61 degrees.
Yeah, 61. And you know what? I've already acclimated to the Florida weather. It's like high 80s, low 90s every day. And if it gets like today, it was probably in the 60s in the morning. It felt cool to me. I was used to wearing just shirt sleeves out there and, 30-degree weather, but that goes away, I guess, pretty quickly. Craig says old Gearwrench.
Yeah, Craig's on my channel all the time, so I like he's a normal customer.
Oh, so, like the icon. I got
Oh, okay, I got you. He's getting on now. JD Tico's getting ready to come on now. Watch out, fellas.
Yeah, it's gonna get crazy up in here. Yeah, we've got Nick from JDT Co. Coming in. He was at a hockey game earlier this evening, so he might be he might be a little saucy. I don't know. Yeah, Gearwrench's better days are behind them. If you have some of the older Gearwrench stuff, hold on to it if you can, because if you got a warranty out, they're just going to give you the Chinese stuff. So
I got KD stuff that I'll never get rid of because of that same fact.
Yeah, I've got some KD stuff too, and that's all USA. It's good stuff. You know, it's as good as the old OTC or Lyle or something like that.
Yeah, KD. I would put KD and Lyle and OTC back in the day. They were strong competitors, and OTC completely dropped off. They've turned into what I would consider to be just garbage, and it's sad because they're in Minnesota. People keep asking me, these companies are dropping like flies, man. These companies are dropping like flies. We better get through the comments before Nick gets on here. So
let's do that.
I'm sure they're going to blow up when he gets in here.
Yeah, Scuba Steve had a bunch of Gearwrench. It's way different.
Yep.
Yeah, Apex. Tyler says Apex ruined Crescent. I just had a comment about Crescent earlier today, and I didn't want to get into it with the guy who's leaving the comment, but they used to be awesome. They made a pretty good set of tools, and you know, like the teeth on them and all that stuff. But now,
they definitely
probably not
them.
So much. Yeah, recently worked with an Amish guy upstate. Not from there. It was an experience. Yeah, probably an experience like what we were talking about earlier, working on the farm in the mud, in manure.
I loved it. I do miss it still.
Chains are for dogs. If it's bad enough for chains, it's time to shut down and wait for conditions to improve. Larry, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, man. Chains. It's
back in the day, trucks I don't think had enough power that chains were, but now I think they have too much power, and chains just I never seen
true actually. Yeah,
you know, I just never seen an advantage of it. I don't want to get on that subject too long, but that's always been why I never used them, because you know they would just not. I don't know. It is what it is. So
yeah, I've had chains save me coming down a grade. You know, I even had chains on the trailer tires, and man, it'll keep you on the right side of a cliff. That's for sure.
Yeah, chains on the tires coming down. That would be.
It's different. Mid-Atlantic says when it snows, I park my truck and take time off. A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that.
I know here in Iowa, that's a standard thing now. So they shut down trucks way more than they used to.
That's true. I think management is starting to understand what that does, you know, to the people, what it does financially. It's not good. Just even if you have to wait a day for the weather to clear and the roads to get better, just wait the day. No one's gonna suffer, you know, that they didn't get their big screen TV or whatever it is you're hauling, you know, a day late or whatever. Oh yeah, did you guys order the Devil's Finger? I was going to talk to Nick about that. I've been at work all day, but his deal, what was it, like $18, and you get the mystery tool. He's calling it a Devil's Finger, and I'm thinking it has something to do with a trim tool that I call Superman's fingernail. I did a video on that. You know what I'm talking about?
Actually, do that. Yeah. Oh, that's that trim tool, that aircraft tool.
Right. I wonder if Nick's got a version of that, and I can't wait to see it. I think I'll order one. I bet you the first guy to order one and do a video on it, that's going to be pretty popular. It's about 50. Where's that, Corey? Yeah, man, up north it gets chilly quick, and I'm not going to see that maybe ever. Maybe Florida, and in Jacksonville they say it gets cool, like it can freeze overnight sometimes, but it's rare. Tyler asks, any recommendations on mechanics shears? That's probably a good question for CP, because I'm actually looking for mechanics shears myself.
What are we talking when we're talking about mechanic shears? I guess, are we talking about metal brake stuff, or because I guess
probably not brake. I'm thinking maybe super light sheet metal, cardboard, just basic like utility shears that you would just break out if you needed to cut something.
So, like, are we talking like kind of like tin snips, or Malco and Klein are what come into mind? I guess if I was going to, since he's talking about Crescent, I think that's what he's assuming he's talking about, the shears. But Malco and Klein would be my two top picks for what, if it's what I'm thinking is the shears, the two handles that look like kind of like Taylor shears. Oh my gosh!
What's up, guys? How we doing?
What's up, Nick? So let me introduce Nick here. Nick is the founder of JDT Co. And he's out there in New Jersey. He used to be a tool man for the Mac, just like CP, and he went independent. He's got his own independent truck route there in New Jersey, and one of the first people to start selling tools online. So he's the best tool dealer on the internet, bar none.
Jesus.
Nick, thank you for coming to the stream. Welcome to the show.
I'll stop you when you're wrong, but thanks, man. I appreciate that introduction. That was nice.
You know what I say, Nick? I say it every time. He is the #1 tool truck dealer of the internet. that's what I call it.
I'll take it.
People can say I'm kissing your butt, but I don't really like you anyway, so I'm just I'm just being honest.
Well, Jay,
I love you, man. I'm just kidding.
Brother, you know that.
Yeah.
The hockey game was good. We lost. It was preseason, so 2-1, no big deal. It was a Ranger game, so it's New Jersey, New York, so it was kind of a rough loss because I hate to lose to the Rangers, but it's still a good time out. We've been
that's a rivalry right there, New York and New Jersey. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Alan Kaufman says
10 years, 9 years, 10 years been season ticket holder. So,
nice.
So what did I miss? Bring me up to speed. Did we solve any world problems yet, or what?
No, we were not actually. We weren't getting into anything.
The weather. We were talking about
the hurricane. So
hurricanes, snow.
Yeah, I don't know if you know Steve. Let me kind of give you the rundown real quick because I didn't really talk to you a bunch. Steve's a good guy. He's got a channel. He's got 16,000 subscribers. Oh, nice. Steve just moved from Washington to Florida, and so he's kind of you're a DIY guy, right? I mean that you're not gonna be offended by that title. He's a DIY guy, but he's a very knowledgeable guy, very respectable dude. He was a truck driver. And he went into working on now he's kind of working on cars for basically a living, right? I mean,
yeah, that's the side hustle.
Side hustle. So yeah, but yeah, that's long and short of it. So he just moved to Florida, and then got pounded with a hurricane. So we were talking about hurricanes for the most part.
Florida,
yeah.
What part of Florida are you in?
We just moved to Jacksonville, so we're actually outside of the storm's path, which is good for us. But we got to experience a little bit of it, got a little bit of damage here at the house, but nothing major. So we're learning how to prepare for a hurricane. So we talked about that a little bit.
Well, I mean, is that a live set behind you, or is that a fake set?
Oh, it's a green screen. That was
okay. I'll say
that was the that was the thumbnail for this video. Kind of a cool. It looks pretty cool in person, the Welcome to Florida sign. So that's what I put up there.
Nice. Yeah, we deal with them. They're down in Tampa. They got spared pretty good too, they said. So they lucked out and did okay,
Well,
they got a pretty big storm surge. And that's, I mean, if you miss the wind, you're still getting the water. So that can be crap for a lot of people. Midwest hand shears. So Tyler was asking about mechanics shears.
Yeah.
Bill Beckett says Midwest hand shears are pretty good. Sort of just like a utility shear.
I haven't sold a set of shears in I don't know how long.
Right.
Well, you're going to sell me a pair then, because I need a pair. I just
Melco was the one that came up to mind for me, the big one, because I know Melco deals with that. Really, like that's their bread and butter. Like as far as when it comes to shear stuff, and they're in Minnesota, they build those in Minnesota, I believe. So that was where and then Midwest. I've never heard of Midwest hand shears, but I'm not an expert on this one, so I'm not going to claim that I'm, got any skin in the game on this. So
yeah, I just got a big closeout list, and there were shears on there, and the prices were insane. But I'm like, if I buy them, I'm not going to sell them. I know it. So I just stayed away from them. I mean, back when I first started in the business, we used to sell shares all the time. WISS, WISS. We sold tons of them.
Yeah, WISS. That's what Crescent. Yeah, Crescent's got a hold of them now, and that's what I think. That's why Ty asked that, and that was kind of why I would think he was going with that, was because he said Apex ruined Crescent, and WISS and Crescent are Apex now. So, and I'm pretty sure that they're probably not the quality that he's wanting.
How's your socket doing? Is it still doing okay?
The video is doing great. Gearwrench.
The socket itself, is it safe and sound?
Oh yeah, it's locked up in the safe.
Yeah, that's the most popular socket in the world right now.
I'm waiting for the highest bidder. I'm gonna have to send it to you and have you see.
Hey, man,
what should we do with it?
What would I do with it? I mean, like, first of all, I'd be like, hey, Gearwrench, can we get a little better quality control at this point? I mean,
well, I sent you the messages. You saw the conversation that I had between Gearwrench, and I don't really want to expose that. I don't think yet. Maybe I will eventually, but I had the conversation, and Gearwrench was very evasive. And I mean, when I say evasive, I'm talking like an ostrich. Like they wouldn't even give me their name. The person I was talking to. I'm not even joking. I sent Nick a screenshot. I was like, dude, check this out. And then they asked me what I wanted to do with it. And I said, they said, what was your intentions? And I actually said, well, quite frankly, I think it's a gold mine to make money on YouTube. So, I was like, I can keep burning you guys for years with that now. I mean, what do you want me to, what do I really need to do? And then the gender, what did you think about the gender fluid there, Nick? Was that that was a knock out of the park right there, dude? A lot of people were definitely, they thought that was pretty funny. I got several messages from several people, and they're like, dude, you literally, to title that thing Gender Fluid Socket was definitely ballsy.
It's so funny because I mean, like, what's the chance of that happening? I mean, like, could you imagine, like, it's like a 1 in a million socket? It's probably 1 in 20.
It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn. It's a holy grail.
That's funny, man. It's
but Gearwrench hasn't put up anything. Harbor Freight doesn't care, apparently. Oh, $2. We got Chaka.
Yeah. So I got to tell you this. I feel like I've made it on YouTube. If Chaka Gillis came onto this stream and gave me the Chaka Gillis, Ryobi tools are trash, $2 holler. I really appreciate that. I feel like I've made it on YouTube now.
Chaka,
I can scratch that off of my my bucket list.
Chaka, you should have enjoyed his video that he did 2 weeks ago. Then,
right.
Chaka, because he definitely gave you the $2 worth there. You got your money's worth on that video. That mower was absolutely. Nick, if you want to see like one of the most terrible lawnmower, like the best review of one of the terriblest lawnmowers I've ever seen in my life.
Which lawnmower was it?
The Ryobi.
This was the Ryobi, the 40-volt cordless 20-inch, I think, mower.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the bottom of the line either. It was sort of mid-range, and it was absolute garbage. It couldn't mow. It couldn't cut grass. It was terrible.
I'll tell you what. I remember this fad years ago, Nick, and tell me if you remember this fad years ago when we had electric stuff. Okay, cordless tools are great. But I remember the corded.
Listen, my
father-in-law
had a corded mower. He had a corded barbecue grill. He had everything corded, and it was just it's.
It filled the landfills up, and I feel like this is no different because these are not. I just don't see it. I just don't see them being. And then you showed that video that I'm like, and I know the Milwaukee's coming out with lawnmowers now, and I'm just like, dude. When is it? I mean, if you want to get into a topic, two things I have a problem with right now. The cordless tool market and the light market has gone completely. Not only that, if you look at YouTube, now you've got people customizing tools on YouTube, doing crazy stuff. It is getting out of hand. Like, I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, you see, dude, Cortez Channel's building gas-powered impacts.
That's a little bit much.
I mean,
that's fantastic.
The lights, there's 9,000 lights out every week. There's 2 to 3 pages in every flyer of lights. Like, dude, If I see another light, I'm going to scream. And Olight contacted me, and I don't even know what I was thinking, but that is the last light that I ever take from a company and deal with review on again for a long while, because I am lighted out. I am done.
CP, I agree with you 100%, but lighting is such a big part of the tool industry right now. I mean, we ship
out the two biggest things: cordless tools and lights.
So many lights a day. It's funny, And I told the story a few times, and I'll tell it again. But do you remember when the first Easy Red flashlight came out? It was like the cell phone looking thing that opened up. It was a big thick thing.
Easy Red, big thick. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Snap-on had them. Everybody had them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they were ridiculous. Yep. My
buddy, he was the guy that invented that, not Luke. This other guy, Bobby, who's part owner of the company now. So he showed up down in Newark to show me this new light he came out with, and it was a flat light, like a cell phone, a flat LED screen. He took me to lunch and he showed me this new light, and I go, Bobby, don't you think that the light market is done? And this is going back, I don't know, that was like 12, 15 years ago. He goes, Nick, I don't even think it started yet. And I was like, I think you're wrong. And I was never more wrong in my life, because I mean, like, the lighting industry has changed so much, and I don't think it's done yet, man. I think there's a lot more gas in that tank.
I think it's done.
Lights change. Magnets get stronger. It's not going to stop. Which light is that?
1,000 lumens on these lights, dude. I can literally see space sometimes with these lights now. I mean, I'm not even joking. Like, the problem is, though, Nick, is they're so aggressive. Everywhere you go, everybody's like, "Oh, here's a light. There's light." Tool trucks. You go on tool trucks now. There's a whole section of lights. Like, when the problem is with the lights, Nick. Is that they're not making anything worth a shit. None of them.
Well,
at the end of the day, they only last. If you had a light, this is the ultimate light. I'm going to tell you from my standpoint. What's a mechanic work? 8 to 10 hour days. So you need a light that lasts one charge for a 10-hour period. Okay, and it needs to have about 1,000 lumens. And it needs to be you need to be able to beat a Brahma bull over the head with it. And that's it. You make that light, you are the winner. That's all it's going to take. Well, I'm telling you.
It needs a nuclear power plant in there to do that. But you know what? The reason why the light market all these companies are so aggressive in the light market is, first of all, they're very inexpensive. Like,
right.
The headband light Snap-on's coming out with something for $97, right? That's a $3 light landed. That's what it cost. I was going to buy them, and I didn't, because I thought the ship was going to sail, and I think the ship sailed on it. That's a little get out of light. But the other thing is that when you make a wrench, that wrench is going to be around for 200 years.
Right. Exactly.
Wrench for 200 years. A light is designed, you're going to lose it. Then
that's the point.
Most lights are black for a reason, and most lights have a magnet now for a reason. Because when you sit on the bottom of a car and it goes dead, you can say goodbye to that light.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. Here's the thing: is I get it from their standpoint, because they're making money, but from a consumer standpoint, what pisses me off mostly is the fact that this is a gimmick, because it does suck these people. Now, I'm not saying you should be smart enough. Like, I can't be everybody's dad, and like, everybody should be smart enough. Like, I have way too many lights, and I've definitely went over the hill on it.
Well, I've seen your ratchet draw, buddy.
You haven't. I have 27 lights, Nick. 27 lights. Like, I counted them up one day. I literally can fill a whole drawer in a everything. Nick, here's the problem. Being on YouTube, my one biggest thing that I'm having a problem with right now is I end up with too much shit. I give stuff away to people, okay, and I give it to Steve. And then, like, today, somebody said, "Hey, can you do Milwaukee tools?" I don't need them, so I buy them and then I give them away. Like, do I need to buy tools to keep continuing to give away? If I'm not making enough money for YouTube to support that, why would I do that? So it's not economically sound for me. I would love to have every tool to look at and to compare and do it. But like, even like, look at Torque Test Channel, all those impacts that they buy, you're talking $300-400. People don't understand the amount of cost that it comes up to. I have $250,000. I will literally put it on the paper. I have $250,000 in tools, and I have at least probably 50,000 in tools that I really probably can honestly say I don't need because they're duplicates. I have 9 sets of screwdrivers. I have 10,000 in ratchets. I mean, I have wrenches. I have double sets of wrenches that I don't need. There's, of course, wrenches are a different steel. You can double up on wrenches, but I have double sets that I don't need. Let's see, what else do I have? Cordless tools. Probably have a few cordless tools I don't need, and I got air tools. Like, I could consolidate half of my tool collection just because I have excess and stuff. And there's going to be guys like, dude, just give it away. Well, sure, because you want it. I mean, like, everybody wants a handout. Everybody's always quick to say that. They're like, oh, just give it away. Okay, I paid $250,000 for it, and YouTube pays me $20, and then I'm giving away. Now, I enjoy giving away to people that deserve it. But if for somebody come on YouTube that's randomly like, hey, dude, I'll take that, man. Come on, bro. Come on, send it to me. How it is, Nick. People hit you up too.
I hear it all the time. Send it to me. Send it to me. Give this guy free tools. What am I fucking?
Santa Claus.
No, yeah, you're saying. Well, everybody just thinks money grows on trees. Sometimes that a lot of people don't. There's a lot of good people don't, but people think that money grows on trees, and it's like, dude, if I've got like $10,000 in ratchets invested, I'm not just gonna go just pop off. One of those snap-on ratchets is $300. Yep. And not only that, I use most of those, but there's certain ones I do give away and certain things I do give away, but I'm not going to just dump my whole entire, tool inventory off to somebody and be like, hey, here you go, bro. I got 250,000. I'm going to give away 110,000 of it, which, and scan tools, I've gotten excessive on scan tools lately too. I've got 13 scan tools, 13 different scan tools, because I thought I was going to get into a better platform with a couple different ones. And I did pay for those. And that's been a nightmare now because I'm switching around scan tools and don't have legs. The problem with scan tools, they're even worse than anything else out there because their diagnostics is not caught up. You cannot get dealer software, and I'll tell you what, that is the biggest problem I have as a mechanic. Diagnostics is so terrible right now because dealers are withholding information. They're making my job harder, and then you got to get scan tool. Then a scan tool comes out where, like the Alltels, where they come out with the key programming. Well, if I had a Maxis scan tool, and then they came out with that key programmer, I need that key programmer to do key programming. So now I have to spend another $2,600 on a scan tool. You see what I'm saying? Like,
don't forget about the central gateway where you got to pay just to get into it.
Yes. Oh yeah, dude. And then here's another one, Opus IVS. So they're the big player right now. And Matco, they've got a hell of a racket going on. They're about as shady as they come. I'll be honest with you. I'm really disappointed with them. This Alexander guy I talked to with Opus IVS, this guy's a joke. They tried to scam me and get me set up on their deal. They want to pay me a one-time fee, so I give them $2,000 for this Opus IVS scan tool, and it has their programming abilities with it, and then if once the year's up, I send the scan tool back and I don't get refunded the $2,000. Like, forget about you, and they're like, well, you can buy the J box at $6,000, or that you can buy the tool at $6,000. And I'm like, then what's the $2,000 for? And they're like, it's a startup fee. And I'm like,
that's your fee.
plus, I have to pay $300 a month. So, I mean, for this deal, I mean, the scan tool world is such a wreck. People don't even realize it because there's so few guys. Like, Nick, you want to pull your hair out more? Get involved with the scan tool world more,
Well, I mean, we sell a lot of scan tools,
Right.
In a route, we sell scan tools. In a store, we sell scan tools. The problem with scan tools is, everybody wants a scan tool that does everything, and they want to spend $300.
It doesn't. But there's nothing out there.
Are you familiar with the Autel, the new program at Autel, the Autel Expert program?
Yeah, so I will tell you that
Right.
Alltel impressed me the other week because I had to call them for diagnostics, and so I called Alltel for a key program, and the guy walked me through it, and I was absolutely blown away with how the level. Like, I will be honest with you, I honestly think that I could get away with it. Alltel, if they can program something, they will through their customer service. So right now, Alltel is definitely standing out. But I'll tell you another one is Top Don. They're standing out because they helped me out too with some stuff that was pretty legit. But the problem is still factory information that's not available. It's bullshit. Sorry, I guess I should have kept. I'm sorry, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. It's BS.
Car manufacturer's been doing that for years, and it's a game.
Oh, it's worse. It's worse now. Nissan sends you a transmission, and they send you a CD with the software to update the transmission. But guess what? You got to use the Nissan. You got to use the Nissan programming to get the transmission updated. And like, well, we sent you the information. I'm like, oh yeah, but I don't have the Nissan. I don't have the Nissan scan tool to do it.
Yeah, you've got to have the Mongoose cable for them also, don't you?
Yeah, and the sad part about it is they also send it without the CD, and then you can update it. But when they send it the transmission with the CD, you're screwed, and you never know what you're going to get. So it's just random. So yeah, I've had multiple times where I went to a shop and guys were like, "Yeah, can you help us program this transmission?" I walk in, I'm like. Asked them if they said a CD, and they said, nope, we don't have a CD. And then I look around the box. I'm like, what's this? And I'm like, you got to go to Nissan. So then they have to put on a tow truck, take them to Nissan, have them program it, plus pay them.
Oh, yeah.
So now, and that's the thing that they were trying to avoid by having me come in was to program something and not have to get it towed into the dealership.
Well, with all these electric cars coming out, so it's only going to get worse.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. The Right to Repair Act and the fact that they shouldn't be able to hold this information for more than a year, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. This is the problem, because if you are in a situation like we've had multiple tractors here, that's where it started. That's a big one. John Deere got their ass in trouble for it, but they had a tractor stuck out in the field, and they've got to get a lowboy. We're talking $5,000 to get this tractor towed in, unhooked from a disc. Now, I mean, dude, getting it out of the field alone is a nightmare.
Somebody was telling me about this just last week. I had a party, and somebody was telling me that John Deere, there's a big thing now because there's no diagnostics to be able to anybody with John Deere tractors.
Yeah, it's all proprietary.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They had to open it up because of the right to repair. They got in trouble because these farmers and these guys like AgTech 45 were going out to work on these tractors, and they basically locked up in the middle of the fields. And it's not right that they have to pay, dude. I mean, you would have to get a Caterpillar out there in some of these big tractors, drag them out of the field. I mean, in some cases, or some bigger tractor. I mean, it's a nightmare. I know one guy. I know a buddy of mine. They farm about 15,000 acres, and their combine broke down, and they couldn't get it going, and it cost him pretty near close to $10,000 to get his combine. Brought in.
Is John Deere the only player in that field?
No, there's more. IH, and you got all sorts of Mahindra, all sorts of companies are getting in. I mean, electronic diagnostics is everywhere.
John Deere is the bad guy. They're always the ones that are in court, and
they're the biggest name. Yeah.
People, targeting them. But yeah, I think it's got GPS on their tractors, and
they're the Snap-on.
Yeah, they're the Snap-on.
We had my nephew's girlfriend. Her brother was working for us. Just finished up college. We came to work for us for a couple months. And he went to visit his friend out in Iowa. They did the John Deere tractor tour, and at the end of the tour, they said, "Hey, you want a job?" He was like, "Yeah," and they hired him. He lived in New Jersey, moved out to Iowa, and now lives out in Iowa working for John Deere.
They probably pay pretty good too.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. In Iowa, that's not a bad place to be unless you don't like winters, but you can probably find a pretty good homestead for. Yeah, don't. Okay, that's a secret.
Hey, I mean, I don't like living here in the winter times, but I can tell you that I'd rather live with 7 million people in this state than 17 million.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. JWC Tech was talking about those mowers. He says he likes his Milwaukee mower. Got the kit for $500. That's what I paid, isn't it? $500 for that Ryobi. So it's got some power. So maybe Milwaukee's the way to go. And as Chaka says, Ryobi tools are trash.
Well, your mower definitely was trash. And
absolutely, you got to see that video. If you're looking for a mower and you're looking for a cordless, just watch that. It's just terrible.
What do we got? 32 people in here. Where's everybody at? Where's all my people at? I
want to go back real quick to somebody was talking about the fireside chat. People, Nick, you talk about your people don't watch the fireside as much, but that was my favorite segment, and you haven't done one in a while. I like the fireside chat.
I'll tell you why. I mean, like, I get it. I mean, like, it's to the point. I like the bang the table scream ones, but the shelf tours get the most views, so people like that. But
look at that.
I like the fireside chats. They don't get a lot of views, but the guys that watch it, I think, really, really enjoy it. And I'm going to do another one. The only reason why I haven't done it is because Nick Jr. was
There's somebody in the trees behind you, Steve. Watch out! Yeah.
I think it's Al Qaeda or something back there hiding in the tree.
So Nick hurt his back, so he was out for a few days. Then he had a wedding out in Denver, Colorado. So it was like it was just And we love doing videos and we love doing all this stuff, but at the end of the day, we have to put the tools in the box and get them to people.
Right.
We process.
Once again, you're finding out the struggles of YouTube and owning a bit like it's more work. And if you're already slammed with work, it doesn't make it easy. YouTube comes second. That's all there's to it. And I understand people like your fireside chat, and it's building it was building a following. And that's the problem with YouTube is you have to push sometimes so long to do something that it like you may not have got a bunch of views on it right away, but I guarantee you can tell when people are talking about stuff like that, that means that it's a snowball. Like the more you do it,
you know what? And I was just getting to the good parts of I was just getting to the part where like how we found, Facebook and how that, springboard it into where we are now,
Yeah.
But we'll get back to it. I like doing them, because it's kind of like sit down 20 minutes, just it's relaxing. I'm not yelling, not screaming, not swearing. It's just a good, get it off my chest type thing too,
You need more help.
Dude, it's so hard to hire people. We just one of my son's lifelong friends just came to us and wanted a job. We hired him, and he's doing really good. But it's hard to get.
What's that one kid's name that you got there? Frankie,
that's my nephew.
Yeah.
Oh, I like him, dude. He's awesome.
He's a funny kid, man. But he's
dude, he's awesome.
He's in college, so he can only work, Thursdays
just on
and
Saturdays. Yeah,
so he's working tomorrow. But
when him and Nick did the videos when you were gone, they were fun. I you know what? I think he could easily become a star on the JD Tico deal because he's got as much personality as you do.
He's an actor.
Oh yeah,
that's what he does.
He really is an actor.
Yes.
Well, no way, no reason why he wouldn't. Like, dude, but he could get it. You know what? He's stick with it. He's gonna get he could get hit. He could get some hits on the Hollywood for it.
Yeah, it's funny because everybody's like, he's a natural behind the camera. I'm like, he's an actor. It's what he does.
Oh, by God.
JWC
people claim I'm an actor
says,
too, though, Nick. So what do you mean? Like he's people claim I'm an actor too, though.
It was so funny. It was he was in I think it was his first year in high school, and they do this big like Broadway production play thing, So we've been going every year, so we went to it, and it was a musical, and the kid is singing the whole thing, and I go, his father's sitting next to him. I'm like, I didn't know Frankie could sing. He goes, neither did I.
Doesn't do it at home, right?
But it was funny. But,
JWC Tech says, have you tried that top-down Phoenix or Phoenix Plus?
No.
Not me.
I have tried it when I was down at Vision last year, and talk to those guys. I Top Don's great stuff. Is the platform a huge difference from Alltel? No. Launch is losing. I would like Launch for a while, but man, they're taking a second place. I think Top Don and Alltel are the front runners right now for aftermarket. What do I want to call this? Aftermarket.
Full function.
I don't know what I want to give them a title. Aftermarket, like budget scan tools. They're not really budget though. Alltel is the king, as far as it comes down to it. And there's Alltel is number one, but I would definitely put Top Don as number two. They've got good support. They've got smart people in the business in there, and they built their scan tools are really nice, really fast, really simple. The interface is different than Alltel, but the problem is with most guys with mechanics, and this is a big problem, is once you put them on a tool, they're like, what do I want to call it? They're like lemmings. They can only run a platform if they've done it. Like I've had guys that are. I give my Alltel or my Launch or my Top Don, and they just literally are like, dude, I use a Snap-on all the time, or I use a Tech 2, or and they just get deer in the headlights look, and I'm like, dude, it's all the same. It's just different ways it's laid out. Come on,
it's a different interface, yeah.
Dude, I'll be honest with you, 10% of all technicians out there are probably skilled enough to run a scan tool. I'm not even in the 10%. But 10% of probably all technicians are probably super skilled enough that they can run any scan tool.
I've said that many times.
Yeah, that's the problem is the lack of the lack of knowledge. And I spend a lot of time trying to learn stuff too. That's another thing that takes up time in my week. I bet you there's research and studying is I probably added 10 hours into my week in doing that. I mean, if I run into a problem when you're doing with multiple manufacturers in car repairs, it's a nightmare. Like the dealers got it easy. I don't care. I've said this before. Dealer guys walk around and act like they're the business and they're the deal. They do the same stuff over and over. I know how to tie my shoes already. I can do that. I want to challenge myself.
I had a customer one time. This is going back when scanners first came out. And there was one of my customers' name was Matt Clark. And he was a Cadillac mechanic, and Cadillac was the first company that actually had some kind of computer in the car where you could check it out. So when scanners came out, he used to buy every kind of scanner, Yeah. And he goes, everybody buys a scanner and waits for a car to come in that's running like shit, and they try to figure out how to use this scanner, how to fix this car. He goes, that's the worst time to do it. He goes, when a car comes in running perfect, that's the car you want to hook the scanner up.
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be.
You want to know what it should look like.
Yeah. I tell guys that all the time. I have a kid in the shop who I gave a scan tool to, and I said, you don't understand. You need to look at every car that comes in so you can understand your air fuel ratios. Like if you want to learn how these things operate, that's how I've taught myself. That's how I taught myself how to do diagnostics. Is I started looking at known good cars. Okay, and this is before information was relevant, keep in mind. So back when dinosaurs were running the earth and Christ was a cowboy, when I started working on cars, because that's basically what kids look at me. Anybody below 30 now is like, dude, because I basically worked on a typing typewriter when I started diagnosing cars. I mean, the OTC.
What's the first scanner you remember using?
The very first scan tool I ever used was the OTC. What's it called? The OBD11, which was very, very primitive. And then I bought an MT. Then I bought it,
2000 or 4000?
No, 90s. 90s. Oh. Yeah, I started using a scan tool before I even got into school. So I went into ag business and agronomy, but I was also I wanted to do 2 programs when I was in high school for trade school. I wanted to do ag business and agronomy for a backup, and I wanted to be a mechanic, but I had to choose one of the 2. So on the side, I was learning to work on cars because I couldn't take those classes during school. And then I also was doing ag business and agronomy. And then I ended up going to college for trades and a 2-year college for mechanics. I thought I was beating the whole system by doing all this because technically I was going to work on a golf course or on a farm. That was my 2 choices that was my plan. And then I ended up being a mechanic, which, never works out how you want it to. Right. And then I ended up being a tool truck dealer. And then, now I'm just here. Look at me. But the long and short of it is when I first started working on the OTC scan tool, Not the OTC. What was the one that they first had, or the
First
second one they had?
First one
Genesis.
was the GM85 was the first one.
Yeah, that might have been the one, the very first one. And then I had an OTC and I had a Snap-on. I bought them both at the same time. The MT2500, which I still have that scan tool. I still have the MT2500. That was the best scan tool. That was the best scan tool on the market, hands down, and that was great. And that was back before people really complained about prices, because I think I paid $1,200 for that scan tool. And in the late 90s, that might have seemed like a lot of money, but it wasn't like crazy, like Bugatti money, you know, like it was $1,200 for a tool. I mean, I paid $4,000 for a toolbox, so $1,200 for a scan tool wasn't that bad. And now scan tools have exceeded prices of toolboxes.
Yeah, they're getting into 5 figures now, some of them.
So
we've been selling. I mean, like, believe it or not, we've been selling a handful of Ultras, man, like crazy.
Dude, they're great scan tools, and once again, the support from Altel is phenomenal. Like that's the one bonus you're getting.
They weren't always as good as they are now.
No, they're incredible. Yeah. I never called. Listen, Nick, I never called OTC support until this year, and my buddy told me, he goes, "Why don't you just call OTC?" And I go, "What are they going to do?" He goes, "Those guys are pretty smart." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Dude, I remember calling them 2 years ago." And they literally was like talking to a telemarketer. Yeah. Those guys had no idea. They must have completely revamped their stuff, because when I called them now, the guy's like, "Oh, they have an actual technician." So I talked to a Toyota technician when I was calling in, and he gave me all the rundown on how to do something. And I was like, "Dude, this is absolutely amazing." I was like, "This is so amazing to be able to talk to somebody and know what I'm talking about and they're talking about," because having a conversation with somebody when they don't know what they're talking about is a nightmare. And I have had tons of those conversations. So it's not worth my time. I've spent hours on the phone. I remember even calling Ford IDS, our Ford support with my IDS, and that was a nightmare, just to do an update on the tool. And
that's pretty surprising, because IDS is otherwise a pretty good tool, isn't it?
Yeah, but trust me, it's not. When you have to do an update or something on it, I spent 6 hours doing that update one day. And that's another thing people don't understand about this game that I'm in and what I'm doing is the amount of legwork that you have to do to keep up on this is absolutely time consuming. When you have to call in and talk to Altel and you need to get support, you know, and I do that legwork, and then people go, "Why are you going to charge me $150 an hour?" Because I have to sit on the phone sometimes for 3 hours to do this. So I'm not here to work for free. You're paying for my experience. I did that. Nobody else is willing to do it.
And a diag is what, an hour or something like that?
Monitor 2000. That's what it was, Bill. Is that what you said?
Monitor 2000, then it was the 4000, then the 4000E, and then I think the Genesis, right?
Genesis was what I had. I had the Monitor 2000, then I got the Genesis, and then I got the MT2500. Yeah. I couldn't remember. And then I obviously started selling Mac tools. I actually bought a Genesis when I started selling Mac tools, because I had access to the Mac one. I bought it for cost, and I used the Mac one. And I got pulled into the old.
That was a good scanner back then. The Genesis was a good scanner.
So I was actually connected with the guy from over in the East Coast there. His name was Steve Zach, I think it might have been. And he was the head diagnostic guy for OTC when I was first starting. And he was, I had all sorts. So I was super into diagnostics then, because me and him talked all the time. And then I became one of the lead guys for Mac Tools to help guys that were dealers would call me when they had problems from technicians that had problems. And so I would help Steve out. Steve would help me out. I mean, it became a network, but once again, that's a lot like YouTube. And that's what I'm all about, is when you have that network where you build it with people that are like-minded and getting into that stuff, it is 100% invaluable. You know, I mean, that's what the problem, like too many people are, and I'm not going to act like I'm a gold guy, but too many people get all excited about this and that, and worrying about a tool and this and that. But at the end of the story, we're all in the same fight. This is a war against vehicles. I say this all the time to people. I go, this isn't a game. This is a war against cars. You know, like we are fighting every day to keep these things running on the road. And it is what it is.
Yeah, Everyday Fleet Tech says he's learning about the new Freightliner EV trucks, which I guess they're going to beat Tesla to the EV game, and it says the whole new world. Yeah, that's going to be what 3/4 of the weight of that thing is probably all in batteries. That's got to be a challenge all by itself. You're going to need some pretty heavy equipment just to work on those things.
Well, the worst part is they're going to push guys out because guys are going to say, you know what? I mean, if you're like me, that's part of the reason why I left the business or left working for somebody in the shop is because I want to specialize in one area, and no shop was willing to pay me for that. I'll be honest with you. Like they don't want to have, and they're going to have to. And I try to explain that to people. I'm like, if you aren't hiring a standalone diagnostic guy, you are going to be behind the 8 ball. Because there are shops that have, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure that's what Flat Rate Master pretty much does. Goes around and helps the guys out, and he support 4 people in the shop because that stuff's invaluable. Like,
yeah, he's putting out fires out there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm like, but I do this, and I have 13 shops that I religiously deal with, and I help them put out fires too. And that puts food on the table for me. And I enjoy doing it because I don't enjoy putting in transmissions anymore. I did all that stuff. I don't enjoy changing motors. I don't enjoy doing brakes. I've done so many of that. I don't need to. I've got the scars on my hands. I've got the badges of honor for that stuff, and it's noble. And I don't knock anybody for doing it, but I've already been there, done that. And this is the part of this that I enjoy. I've evolved to something different. It's all a game of improvement. You start off with a deck, and then you move up to a different subject. Like you become a suspension guy, or you become a driver. I mean, I've watched hundreds of techs do this, walk through the field.
Yeah, doing that diag and programming stuff like that. There's such a huge barrier to entry, where you've got to have so many thousands of dollars worth of scan tools and other diagnostic equipment just to get started.
Yeah.
Then you got to learn how to use it all. So it's definitely not for everybody, but if your body can't take, like you said, doing that heavy line stuff and, lifting transmissions all the time, that's a goal to shoot for if it's something that you can do. But man,
I'm wore out.
I've just got my feet wet on some of that stuff, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's pretty expensive just to get started on that stuff.
Well, I've told people before, I said, if you want to make a good living doing something, and Nick said it too about his on his channel, key programming is just a license to make money. And like, if you learn how to do that, there's people out there that are killing it. I know a guy that's making $10,000 roughly every 2 weeks programming keys here, and he's my main competitor for me doing it here. And it's like the key there. It's a specialized market because you have a security system to get past, and it's so easy to screw up and cause problems. And it can take an hour or 2 hours to program keys sometimes.
Did you see the new Autel, the key fob programmer?
Yeah.
That Bluetooth, the BT?
Yeah. No. I bought one from you. Remember?
The new one?
Well, they're the same as the old one. What's different from the new one from the other design?
The one comes with the key fobs?
Oh, that's the XP400. Yeah, that was part of it. You could buy those before too. That's my buddy's got that one. That's what I used to do that Toyota Highlander, where I pulled the PCM out, and then what you do is you use that to delete the immobilizer security gateway out of the PCM, so you can rewrite it and put it back into the PCM.
We were selling a lot of those.
Yeah, well, they're big for Mercedes. You almost have to do that on every Mercedes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
$529, I think it is.
Yeah, just for that alone. Yeah, but if you buy it with the package, it's obviously a better deal.
Are we talking? I don't know if we're talking about the same tool. The new one?
Yeah, the IM608.
No. There's a new one that just came out. I'm bad with part numbers. I'll look it up for you. Hang on. It's on.
Let me look it up. I can't keep up with the stuff, man. I'm trying to see if the top don. I mean, I'm always searching for cheat codes. That's exactly what I'm doing. As I'm literally always looking for cheat codes, Nick, with the scan tool stuff.
The Autel Advanced Key Immobilizer tool.
What is it? I am.
I don't think he has a part number on here.
What do you got?
Oh, JWC Tech says
that's the standalone
KM100.
one. So it basically does the same thing as what the IM608 does. It's just a standalone key programmer.
Yeah.
And it's $500. Yeah, that's a nice setup to get because it's a standalone.
I've been selling them in a route like crazy, man.
Right, because it's half the price of the IM508, and it's a third of the price of the IM608. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's a great tool if you're going to add on. If you had a Maxxis, that's exactly the way to go. 100%. I agree with that. But yeah, it's the same as what I got from you, the IM508.
Yeah, that was a good. I mean, we sold a bunch of those. The 508.
Well, the thing about the IM508 and the 608 is where you're buying a scan tool and a key fob programmer in one tool. And the IM608 is really the best bang for your buck because you can do diagnostics. It is a little bit slower, but I honestly think it's one of the greatest tools for Altel. And if you bought one in the early, if you bought one pre-2021 and you haven't updated it, you got some special bonus features.
Oh, yeah.
That's pre-lawsuit, isn't it?
Yeah, pre-lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
So I have your scan tool you sold me. It's pre-21. I checked the date when I got it, which I was absolutely excited. When I should have had you. I should have done it before you sent it to me, but I should have made sure. But luckily I didn't, and mine's pre-21, so I have all the cheat codes unlocked with it, and I won't update it ever. I'll buy another scan tool. It'll never get updated.
Do you remember the first Autel that came out? I think it was the what the hell was it?
The gray one. Same thing. That was an IM908, I think, maybe.
No, 700. Autel 700.
Was it 700? Well, it was the same size as my 508, but it was and I didn't know about this at the time, but that one had some cheat codes in it too.
708. Is that number 708?
I think it was 708. I'm pretty sure it was 708.
When that thing hit the market, man, it was crazy. That thing did everything. That thing would do anything and everything.
They were stealing half that stuff, though, weren't they?
They stole all that stuff.
Well, it's China. So what do? What's China good at doing? Reverse engineering. Right. And they would take a PCM and suck all the information out of a factory PCM, and then they would just plug it into their stuff. I mean, they're good at that. I mean, dude, when it comes down to electronics, boys, there's no doubt about it. You know, if it ain't Asian, I mean, I don't. If it was made in USA, I wouldn't buy it. You know, when it comes to electronics, if it was made in the USA, I wouldn't buy it.
Well,
there's vice versa.
Fake it till you make it. You know.
Yeah.
But now I think CP, you were telling me about tool companies. They're not using patents anymore because as soon as they patent an idea, boom, it gets stolen and someone else is making it.
Go to Amazon. Well, I mean, like, look at the Icon ratchet. You guys, a lot of people don't realize it, but Icon ratchets, like, I love it when guys are coming in just like the Gearwrench, man. This is the same thing. It's the same tool with a different name. And people are like, oh, Snap-on's rebranding and you're paying for the name. Well, tell me you're not paying for the name for Gearwrench. Tell me you're not paying to name anything. Milwaukee, you're paying for the name for anything you buy. There's a premium for that name anywhere you go. You're paying for a name for Katie Tico.
We had an old guy coming to the store today. The guy's 81 years old, right? And I was talking to him. He came in and he didn't leave. He was there for 2 hours. And So like he goes, I go, what are you doing now? He goes, like, I work for a patent lawyer. I'm like, we work for a patent lawyer. He's like, yeah. So I had a couple of patent questions because we're coming out with a tool that there's a patent on it. And I said, well, I go, answer me a question. I said, this tool's been out for over 20 years. And he said, the most the patent's gonna last is 20 years. If you drag your feet doing it, you can get 21 out of it. I said, well, here's the same tool, but it says patent from a different company that says patent pending on it. He goes, he starts laughing. He goes, dude, whenever you see patent pending on it, you know what that means? That means that they're trying to sell this item before anybody else, they're trying to scare people away from copying it because it doesn't even have patent on it. He said, this is patent pending, it's bullshit.
Right.
It means all of it.
Well, everything Snap-on says is patent pending. I mean,
he said the guy started laughing. 81-year-old guy starts cracking up. He drove a Mazda Miata stick shift.
I saw that today. I love that. That's me. I won't drive an automatic.
Dude,
and all the kids have to drive my car before they can get a license.
Oh, nice. But yeah, he was funny. He was definitely, he didn't want to leave. He was there for, like, I'm telling you, 2 hours. The store was full of characters today. We need a camera just to put into
Yeah,
this.
why don't you, dude? You need to do that. Just throw the camera on.
I really want it.
Edit out anything you don't like. I'm telling you what. I mean, that's the other thing you can do with videos making. Sometime I want to do it. Let it roll. I mean, granted, it's a lot of work for editing, but dude, you can get out some good content that way.
Yeah, it was like I said, we had characters in there. It was something. I don't know if we got.
So I'm going to break up the live stream a little bit and go to a segment that I've been planning, but I haven't told anybody about, and that is tonight's giveaway. I've got a giveaway. I did one here. I gave away a Snap-on ratchet during my live stream, and that was fun. That was really cool. It went to a good home. And this year I've got something different. Let me share with you what I'm looking at here.
What's that?
I'm going to do a screen sharing here.
You're going to do a giveaway tonight, right now?
I am going to do a giveaway right now. I didn't advertise it. I didn't want to advertise it because I want my subscribers, the people that are here with me, with all the videos, to get a prize. I don't want someone to just come in and, put their name in the hat and take off and never hear from them again. So today I've got this one. We were just talking about lights, but this is a CP. Do you have this one?
That's a great light. That's a light that I condone having. Getting 2 of those is one of the best deals you can get on the internet.
So this is the Astro Pneumatic. It's got the cob light on both sides. It's got the magnet on the bottom. It flexes, and it's got the inductive charging dock, which can inductively charge your flashlight and also a cell phone. If you you have an iPhone or something like that, where it can charge inductively.
You can charge the Snap-on lights. Anything that's inductive charging, you can do it.
So yeah, you can attach that to your wall or wherever as a base station. Just put the light on there. No more cords. No more USBs. So I think it's pretty cool. Let me
$88.
Got it right here.
What's that, Nick?
$88 at JD Tico. I just looked it up.
$88
There you go.
on the internet.
So I've got it right here. It's ready to go out. There you go. You can't really see it. Let me turn this thing off here.
What, Steve?
What's that?
Do you even have one of these lights?
No, I don't. I have the old Astro, the one I did a video about it. That's the all black one with the rotary dial on the back of it that'll dim the light for you. So I don't even own this light. This is my viewers, my audience is going to get a really cool light that I don't even own as part of the giveaway. So this is part of the 2-year anniversary giveaway, and I want to do it here on the stream. So if you're ready, let me, there we go. So this is going to be a trivia question. Now, all of us have had dogs on our videos. Nick has his dog in the store. It's not actually his. I think it's his daughter's dog. Don't say his name. I've got 2, and CP has his dog on all the time. So if you can be the first person to name at least 2 of the 3 dogs that we just talked about from these 3 channels, you will get this Astro light. I will send it to you free of charge. Don't cost nothing. You'll have a better light than I've got. So put it down there in the comments if you know 2 dogs.
Got mine right here.
Let's see who comes up here. Checking out the chat.
It's going to come up different for you than it will for anybody else. So I'm not sure who was going to come up first for you. It won't come up the same. I won't be able to see it. It only comes up in your chat because StreamYard routes differently. I've been through this before when I've done giveaway on live stream.
Okay, there's there's one of the dogs right there. Nick's got him. So I think you're taking care of him for right now, right? Your daughter's out or something like that.
Nah, she's back home. She was overseas for a couple months, but she's back home. That's why he hasn't been at the store as much. But she just got her dream job today, so he'll be back at the store real soon.
So I'm looking at the YouTube stream right now, and it looks like Tarek got it. Jasper and Henry. That's 2 of the 3. Some of the people did get Luna. That's my dog, my shop dog. So Tarek, congratulations. You are the winner of the first prize on the live stream. I'll get you.
I think I think he's a millionaire. You should give it to the next person.
Yes, Tarek's a millionaire.
He's a millionaire.
So no
a lot of money. Give it to the next person.
So send me an email and I will get that out to you. Congratulations to you. Corey says, all I know is Henry. Ragin got it. Jasper and Henry.
Turbo Ty.
JWC.
Turbo Ty was on it. Henry and Luna.
Tyler got Luna. That's my shop dog. She hasn't been on too many videos, so I don't blame people for not knowing Luna.
I'm surprised anybody. I'm surprised nobody would have forgot. Jasper's name's been out there more than Henry's.
Jasper's like a brand name basically.
Yeah, he is a German tool expert.
He has his own line of pry bars too. So
yeah, the Jasper pry bar. Yeah, I have one of those.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, good times.
All right, and later on I'm going to do one more giveaway.
Give away a devil's finger.
A devil's finger. Well, I talked to Nick Jr. earlier today, and we worked something out for something from the JDT Co. inventory. It's going to be a pretty good one, so stay tuned for that.
You're going to do that still tonight? So you got enough people?
We're going to do that tonight.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. We've got one more coming up, and it's going to be a pretty good one. I just saw the thing about that devil's finger. I think it's an $18 deal you've got there, and that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to order that, but I'm going to keep it for myself.
I'll do a devil's finger. I will buy a devil's finger. You ship it out, Nick. We'll do a giveaway right now for the devil's finger to get that out to somebody. I know it's pretty simple and easy. I will pay you for it. You do a giveaway, and we'll do a devil's finger to get it out there. So what should we do for a giveaway for that? I want to see how many people watch Steve's channel. So I want to ask a question because I think people should have to answer something about your channel, because me and Nick we have some pretty the same loyal following. But I think people should be watching your channel. I watch a lot of your stuff. How about we do this? What is the name? Let's see if we can get anybody that can tell the name of the tool that's named after a superhero that you did a video on.
There you go. Mm-hmm. I did a superhero tool.
Yeah, on Tool Demo's channel, he did a video, and not only that, bonus points if you can tell me what he did unique to that tool that nobody else did.
Oh, that is a bonus. Yeah. That's a separate video.
Yeah. In fact, what should we do? Maybe what else you got going on, Nick?
What's that?
The website right now. Should we do 2 things? Buy something else, because I feel like $18 is, that's just me.
Dude, it's a devil's finger. It's everybody's got to have one of those.
Every mechanic worth his salt.
We're gonna CP's seen it. He knows what it is, right?
Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, you talked about it in the deal. You talked about it. Yeah, I'm here.
I said, pretty cool, right?
Yeah. It's a very useful tool. Mm-hmm. Especially for somebody who doesn't have you talked about this, right? So I'm not exposing this, I'm pretty sure you had this on your video the other night, didn't you?
The only thing I saw was the brown bag, the brown paper wrapper.
You didn't show it yet.
No, just you. I showed it to you.
Okay, so is it even on your website?
No.
Oh, I thought I saw a picture of it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's a Friday mystery deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it's a mystery deal. So you got to buy it as a mystery tool.
It's a blind tool release.
Okay.
So it's something different.
Okay.
I think it's a fair value. I don't think it's,
Yeah,
so,
it's well worth $18. It'll definitely be cool for $18. And I'll be honest with you, I've seen this tool. I told Nick I've seen this tool before, and I actually remember back in the day a couple guys using this for a couple purposes, but I can't say what it is because that'll give it away. But it is, and yours is more unique than what the old tool was because it's more unique. So.
Like I said, I thought it was. I seen it, and I was like, it's kind of rang a bell, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So we ordered them in, and I think we're probably going to sell out, and then I got to reorder them. And
for sure.
But nothing. These came out of Taiwan, and Taiwan's a lot faster than China. So I've been trying to get as much stuff out of Taiwan instead of China because it's just, it's better quality, it's easier, faster. And
people are just looking through.
And American companies still don't return my call.
So I could do a pair of Snap-on socks. I could do a pair of Snap-on socks or a pair of Milwaukee pliers, locking pliers.
Snap-on socks are gone.
They're all gone. So
again, twice now.
So let's add in a set of Milwaukee locking pliers with the devil's finger.
Gone.
They're all gone too?
I have a set in truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have a set.
Okay. We have one set.
we got more coming. Nick said.
More coming. Well, okay. Let me see if there's any. Dude, you guys are just killing it, crushing it.
We try to get it in and try to get it out. So
right, which is good.
And we bought. We did a big deal. We're in the process of doing a big deal. We bought a lot of lights. I know it's a sore subject to you, but we just bought a lot of lights.
Wait a second. How about we do this instead of what? We need to stick with the JD Tico theme. How about the ultimate detailer toolkit plus a devil's finger?
Let's go.
I will sponsor that giveaway, and you ship it out. That's what we need to do because that comes with the little mat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a little rubber mat and the cleaner and the whole deal, and it smells absolutely just delicious. Not gonna lie to you.
Long punch, baby.
I mean, it doesn't taste terrible neither. Ask me how I know.
Best video ever done. How many views that? They got a lot of views, right?
It was decent. Yeah, I mean, it was just me goofing around. I mean, but the reality of it is the stuff it's biodegradable. It's not hazardous. It works good. It's got a beautiful smell. It absolutely lights up my shop. It actually invigorates me. Not gonna lie to you. Oh, we got it. Turbo Tai's got it. Bonus points. For the bonus points, what did he do to that tool, Turbo Tai? Can you answer that for
bonus points?
For the additional, I feel like you deserve this too because you came up with Luna, and that was
you did.
I was hoping that somebody would say his dog's name. Can you do bonus points? Can you give me the bonus points? What he did to that tool that I thought was absolutely a definite upgrade. The Superman, and you know what the Superman's finger is, Nick?
No.
It's that trim tool that we were talking about. So Lyles came out with that new trim tool. That new trim tool is badass. But it's an upgrade to that Superman's fingernail. It's absolutely, and I've used it a couple times, and my God, I love it. I bought 2 more of them. I should do a couple giveaways with those. I gave away the cleaners, the fuse cleaners, but
Superman's finger.
Yeah, Turbo Tai, you're gonna be. I'm gonna get. Dude, you got Luna and Superman's fingers.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Super Tai has been or Turbo Tai has been a JD Tico customer probably longer than anybody on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who's that?
Oh, Turbo Tai.
He was from the tool page like back in the day.
No shit.
Yeah,
he's a good dude. He's a good dude. So that's awesome. So let's send him. I will pay you guys. I don't know if you have my credit or how I have to do it, but I'll give you my credit card information. But or whatever, you just send me a bill, or I'll pay it, or whatever, however you want me to do it.
We'll talk about it Monday because Frankie's tomorrow, and he'll have no idea what's going on.
Turbo Tai, you get a hold of those guys at JD Tico. You're going to get a JD Tico tool cleaner kit and a devil's finger for the give from me for in courtesy of an honor of Steve's 2-year anniversary, and for you. Yeah.
So the Lyle tool, the thing you're talking about,
No, it's the oh man, I should know this.
Is it
I
the
couldn't
Lyle
pick up-
one?
Yes, the new Lyle. I told you. I sent you a picture of it.
What
I
came out
know
with it?
they already came out with it.
Oh, what
I've had
company
that
was
under.
it?
I've had that under wraps for a while now. I had
No,
a couple guys that even said, "Dude, if you think you had any part of doing anything with Lyle tools, you're an idiot."
No, well, listen to me. The Lyle people the Lyle people know CP very well. Trust me. I've had full conversations with them.
Yeah,
But we're coming out with that tool too.
I get pretty much all of the tools before any. I mean, I get them when they're on the cutting table. I've got them. I've got a whole drawer. That's another thing. I've got a whole drawer. You think my ratchet drawer is stupid? How about a prototype tool drawer? I've got a full drawer of prototype tools. It's absolutely, and I swap them out all the time. I got stuff going to people. I send stuff to all these shops because it's not even the thing about doing these prototype tools. Even if I'm doing them, like it doesn't make it enough because even when I was Nick, I don't know if you had this experience. When I was on the tool truck, the one thing that I loved doing was giving a guy a tool. Like if I got demo tools in, I always asked for demo tools from Mac all the time. I mean, I hounded guys, I hounded companies, and I said, "Hey, give me a demo of this." When the 916 Ford spark plug sockets came out, I said I actually stole the one from the tool show. From the guy, he goes, "Dude, that's all I got." And I go, "Okay, cool, thanks." And I know you did that stuff too, Nick. And then I took it and I gave it to Dewey Ford here, and then I took it to Stiver Ford, and I gave it to 6 other guys. Tried it, and they said, "Yeah, it works good, everything." Just to make sure it's. And you think, "Oh, it's simple. It's just a spark plug socket." But Snap-on had their first one that they came out with. I remember had issues. It was sticking on the spark plugs, and they couldn't get it off. It was having a problem. So. But yeah, there's.
Well, thanks CP for sponsoring the live stream, and congrats to Turbo Tai for getting that prize pack. You're still eligible for an upgrade if you get the if you can answer the question on what modification did I do to that tool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we never. Well, he's getting he's getting the upgrade. I gave him the upgrade because he said Luna. So I thought that was
okay. That's fair. That's totally fair.
But I was hoping somebody would say it. But we'll talk about it. The upgrade was Nick. This is a great idea too. I know it's not. I wish they would do this. I thought this was a genius, and I don't know why nobody does this. Green tools are green, blue, all the colors. You know how I feel about that. I don't give 2 squirts of water about it. But the biggest thing is it's got to be functional for me, and green is high vis, and that's why a lot of guys like it. But Steve one-upped the upgrade, and tell them about what you did, Steve, so I don't want to steal your thunder on this.
So I went onto Amazon and I just found a glow-in-the-dark powder. Now it can be added to anything. It can be added to paint or whatever you're working on, but I did it for the Plasti Dip. I bought clear Plasti Dip, and then I put bright orange, because orange is the best tool color, glow-in-the-dark powder, mixed that all in, and now all of my tools that I dipped, not only are they orange, but they glow in the dark. And if you watch the video, I put it way down in an engine bay underneath an intake manifold, and that thing was glowing so bright, super easy to see. So if you ever drop your tool in a place where it's really hard to see, this thing will glow and tell you exactly where it's at. It's a pretty cool little deal, and it's still on there. I've got that on my ratchet and a couple other tools, and it holds up pretty well.
Smart. Well, the thing about it I like about that is because I don't care about colors. I go with red usually because everything else was. But yeah, I thought it was smart. Like, why has no tool company ever done that? Why are they? Everybody's worried about putting blue and this and that on, but the majority of the tools, if you put and Astro did the glow in the dark sockets, but they're black light. So yeah, you can probably find the socket, but you got to have a black light, and most guys are not AC guys, so not everybody has a black light, but a glow in the dark tool will tend to show up. I mean, I don't know, maybe if you added black light and the glow in the dark, so you had 2 options. But dude, what is the number one thing that every guy always has with tools? They lose them, and just like you said, when the light goes out and the magnet's on it, you can't see the freaking thing.
That's right.
Why hasn't nobody done this? And when he did that, I go, somebody's going to catch on to this and do it. And that was a year ago, right, Steve? And that's still holding up.
It's been a while,
it's still holding up, and it's a good deal. So
I even did it on the little 1/4-inch ratchet. It had about that much of just a little bit of a dip. I had some left, so I did it on that. But it turns out I really like it. Actually, it works pretty well. I use that ratchet now more than I used to use it because it's got that on there. So it's something
for sure.
I put that on a lot of tools. It's
clear.
It's pretty fun.
With the glow in the dark dust you're saying?
Yeah, so the plasti dip that I bought is clear. There's no tint to it. There's nothing. It's just clear plastic, and you're supposed to. They sell tint for it, but instead of using their tint, I just went on to Amazon and I found someone who was selling glow in the dark orange pigment. That's it's made for paint or whatever, but I put it in the plasti dip, and you got to use a pretty good amount of it. But once I got the right mixture in there, it came out pretty good, like a really good dark orange. And man, it glows in the dark, and it's pretty awesome. I like it.
Dude, it's a fantastic idea. And it's just like, why do people not do this? Like,
especially when you can get an orange tool, because they're not easy to find.
Want me to tell you why?
No, I know why. Cost and people,
they want you to lose your sockets.
Well,
there you go.
Lose your lights.
You're right. I mean, that's no tool dealer wants to not sell you tools again, and obviously that's why guys like me have stupid amounts of tools where you're just like, why do I do this? Because I've been doing this for years. I've bought duplicates of stuff because I'm like, oh, if I lose this, I'll have it. It's like, I'm an idiot. I mean, we're all idiots. At the end of the day, the companies are playing us. I will say that the companies are playing us. Everything they're doing psychologically, marketing, everything. Like, that's the one thing about it is they have studied this more than you think they have. You're sitting here working on a car, worrying about doing this, and they're worried about how they can sell you that same tool 3 times. And why do I know this? Nick, you know it too. You've been to those meetings. Those dirty, rotten sons of guns are literally always trying to find a way to get into your pocket. They're like your neighbor who's divorced and he likes your wife. That's what tool companies are like. He's always over the fence. Hey, how you doing, honey? What are you doing? That's the tool companies are. That's what they are. Those are those guys, the marketing people, right, Nick?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're the people that are telling you don't have to worry about that guy, or she's telling, oh, you don't have to worry about. That's the tool companies. Don't worry about him.
I think there's a reason why Nick and you got out of it and went independent. Nick's independent tool dealer, and CP, you're out of the tool industry completely.
I would never go back. I literally told Nick that. I said I will never go into selling tools again because there's not a company that I want to sell for. I don't care, even Snap-on. I don't want to. There's too many stipulations. You're not in control of your business. Nick is 100% in control of his, but you still are at the mercy. Look what you have to put up with. I mean, the company's telling you, oh, you can't sell it for this price. It's too cheap. These guys all want to control. Tool industry is cutthroat.
Listen, I'm independent. I wouldn't. If somebody gave me, I don't want to say $1 million. Somebody gave me $200,000 and said, here's a Snap-on truck full of tools. Go out and sell them. I would say no, thank you. I wouldn't do it for $200,000. I wouldn't do it for $300,000. I wouldn't do it for $500,000. $1 million you might get me, but I don't think so, man.
You can't lose them. You can't lose if they give you $1 million, Nick, because you could sell the truck and walk away from it.
$1 million you might have me. $500,000. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
I mean, honestly, that's what I think it's going to come down to with tool trucks. I mean, dude, honestly, being a Matco dealer, it still blows my mind when guys decide to go be a Matco dealer. Like, that is the hardest sell for me out of the tool truck industry. Like, even versus being a Gearwrench dealer, I would be a Gearwrench dealer before I'd be a Matco dealer, because Matco's only claim to fame is we make our toolboxes. Yeah, like, bro.
When you're a Gearwrench dealer, like I'm a Gearwrench dealer, that means nothing. I'm 100% work for myself. They just wrap my truck and put their name on the side. I mean, I have no affiliation, there's no contract, there's no nothing.
Well, not all those guys have that though.
Gearwrench guys? Yeah, there's no contracts.
Oh, right. Well, what if they're buying from INS or IM? They have to buy from those guys though. They're bound to buying from those people though.
No.
Well, they're not, but they can't afford to buy bulk. If you're starting into your tool truck,
Yeah, it's but
integrated.
again, you know,
What is it? It's an ID integrated supply network.
integrated supply network.
ISN. Yeah, that's a company I can't stand either. They're just as bad as Medco.
Listen,
And then Medco, you got Medco, INS, and then
anybody.
huh?
I don't like any of them.
No, well, dude, they're middlemen. I mean, honestly, that's the thing about it is when you're forced to buy from ISN, Medco, Ace, Air Tool, or whatever, Mid States, any of those guys, all they are is handlers, and you're paying for that handling fee. That's all they are. They warehouse, sell you the stuff. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. That's what I don't like about it. Is it's like, and granted, that's capitalism in America. I get it. You know, there's there's gonna be guys and be like, oh, dude, come on, CP, like you're, you know, I get it, dude, I get it. But where Nick, I know what Nick's doing is you're buying direct from the manufacturer, so you know.
We do. Some, not all. Some we don't want to.
Like
JWC Tech had a question about that mod where I did the orange glow in the dark dip. It gets dirty real fast because it's a real bright orange. And I put texture into the dip also, a little bit of sand texture, so it does not clean up easily. I use, what's the name of those wet wipes? I can't think of it, but they come in a little plastic bin. Tub of towels, that's right. And I use those, and it comes off pretty well with that, but I got to work on it because it's got that texture. I was trying to match a similar texture to how Snap-on's dipped pliers look. Instead of just that smooth texture, it's got a little bit to it, and yeah, so it's not as easy to clean.
Yeah, we were going to come out with our own tub of towels back in the day, and then COVID shut that down. We were like this close to putting it all together, and COVID hit, and that kind of fell by the wayside. Nobody was going to do anything with any kind of cleaning products for, you know.
Yeah, not unless it was for government or whatever.
We were
big companies.
I guess we should really revisit that. What do you think?
I think so. if you're going to use the same stuff that smells good and CP says even tastes good.
That was the plan. we were at the point. We found the containers, we found the towels, we found the lids because it's 3 different manufacturers. None of them are the same. And then we were working on the quantities of, because you had to dilute it a little bit, you know. And we're just working on it. We're on the final stage of it, and then all of a sudden, COVID.
Everything shut down. Yeah,
it was crazy. Yeah.
Independent? Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about how if you're a Gearwrench dealer, you can buy from anybody. They're not under contract.
Yeah, but they're still, the problem is they're still locked in unless you're buying like massive quantities like Nick. I mean, the majority of them are buying from ISN, Medco. I mean, and they're all handlers. You're paying like you're still paying a premium versus if you were getting it direct from them, and that's what.
Yeah, they're a wholesaler.
Yeah, well, I mean, like a private brand or what's the PTP tool?
Yeah, private brand. Mm-hmm.
No, PTP is a tool, one that they deal with. I just sent you that, Nick, because I wanted you to see. That's the one I was talking about, that double-ended deal. But the PTP is a company out of South Carolina or North Carolina, one of the two. I forget. I always get it mixed up. They deal with Matco, so they undermine Vim. So like Vim is getting their stuff from the same place. I don't even know that Vim is actually selling to Matco. I'm pretty sure it's PTP is buying them from the same place Vim is.
Nah, probably not.
I don't think Vim's making a double spiff on that. So they're getting, and PTP has been known to have stuff that's they've been known to have stuff this where they're dealing with Cornwall too, I believe too. So. It's another company. They're a broker. They're a tool broker. like Blackstone International is the one that Coke and USA deals with. So Coke and USA and Blackstone are in the same building. Blackstone brokers the tools into America, and then Coke and USA sells them. And it's just it's capitalism. I get it. To me, it's a waste. Like why do we have to pay these people to warehouse stuff and move it? It's costing Americans, and that's the other thing about Snap-on. At least it's being manufactured here and gets distributed to the distributors or these other tool companies. That's why we should be more self-sufficient on making stuff.
39%.
39% of what?
Yeah, Nick just had someone come into the store. He said
39% of Snap-on tools are made in America.
Oh, baloney!
Not 40, 39.
80.
That's what I said. I said 80. He goes 39. Not 40, 39.
Not 39.
That's what he said.
He's full of, well, first of all, I'll argue with it all day long because they have 9 factories. Second of all, their toolboxes are made here in Iowa. Their wrenches and stuff are made in Tennessee.
It doesn't matter. But then the meme's on deck.
Yeah, but then you start adding in Lang, who even though they're rebranded, they are made in the USA. You got companies that are also stuff they
no. The thing is,
it's stuff on their truck. The statement, the actual statement that was made.
What Snap-on makes?
No, but the statement that was made was 80% of the stuff they sell in their trucks is USA made, and I believe it.
39% of the tools that they make.
Well, that's still more than anybody else.
Well, no shit. Nobody else makes anything in America anymore.
Right.
I think we make more than 39% tools in America.
Right. Yeah. How much have you guys ever done your numbers? You should do that. You should do that video. We investigated.
Our own products are boots, and there's so many different variations.
Yeah, I mean,
all made in America.
All our boots, our straps,
your wire hangers, your pry bar holders. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you said, JD Tico makes 15% USA made. I understand it's a controversial subject, and everybody's always like, well, this and that and blah blah blah.
If you look at SKU numbers of the tools that we have our name on, I guarantee I have more tools that are made in America than Snap-on. Okay, I said what I said.
Well, they have sockets and wrenches and ratchets, so I mean, like, that's a pretty big. That's their hard line. All the entire hard line: hammers, sockets, wrenches. Man, that's a pretty bold claim there. I will say that.
They don't make that. Cook makes their hammers. They don't make anything.
Trusty Cook. Who says? Where do people get this? Trusty Cook makes their hammers from? Trusty Cook does not make their hammers.
Who makes them?
They make them.
I don't know about that.
They absolutely do. They're made in. I have
to look into that. I gotta check you out. You might be misinformed.
Listen, Nick, you know me. I'm not about like.
Look at your phone. Look at your phone. Stop talking for 2 seconds. Look at your phone.
Check your messages.
He likes to talk.
You know me, Nick. I'm not about like.
You can let the other guys talk too. You got to let us talk. It's his show.
I'm not about throwing anybody under the bus here. Okay, I just want to get facts out there.
Are you a Snap-on fanboy?
No, I'm not a Snap-on fanboy. The sad part about it is you talk about people that the one dealer that I probably hate more than anybody. It's Snap-on dealers. I've never had a good Snap-on dealer ever. I mean, that's the one thing. But the thing is I'm not going to steer from the facts. Like I can't deny the facts. And not only that, I have family that works in Algona at the toolbox factory, so I'm going to stand up for them because that's their job and they're passionate about it. And when they make a toolbox, regardless if it's $1 million, those guys don't build like my family. I know for certain my 2 cousins would probably go into Harbor Freight and destroy the whole store because they can't stand them that much because they get tired of hearing it. And those guys have worked at Snap-on for 20 years and they're beer drinking hillbillies. And they're not like the people that you want to like get into a scuffle with. These guys they're 5 o'clock. They're 9 to 5ers. They go to bars at night. They're not the smartest people in the world, but they're saltier, blue collar people, and they're tougher than $2 steaks. and
Ain't
they
afraid
just
to swing a club.
yeah. I mean, they'll even tell you they're not dumb. They're dumb. They're not smart enough to know better. You know, they're but they stand. They believe in what they do. You know, they work for Snap-on and Algona, and that was always a funny thing because I was working for Mac, and I used to fight with them. You know, like all the time, like, oh, they're like, dude, we build the best toolboxes, and I'm like, you don't build the best nothing, dude. You know, we wrestled out in the yard and everything. I was 20 some years old back then. They were too. But those guys have stuck up for it for 20 plus years working at Snap-on and Algona. You know. And I believe in what they do because they believe in they stand behind what they do. And there's guys that came on my channel and made comments. There's a guy that I was just reading the comments. He worked for Snap-on, and he said the running joke at Snap-on is half of us can't even afford the tools that we make. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, but it's not. The thing is, it's about a tool. Any tool. What's up, Nick? The thing about any tool is, regardless of the price, everybody always seems to put down is a tool makes you money. So it's an investment. The cost is kind of irrelevant. Yes, it's just more expensive than I can buy this ratchet that's $10, or I can buy this ratchet that's $200.
Okay, but like, how do you justify buying a tool from Lang for $60 or buying a tool from Snap-on, same exact tool, same factory, different name on a handle for twice?
Because Lang's customer service is trash.
CP, what's your hat say?
Tonic on Court. It's me and my brother's bar downtown. It's not. We got Iowa Hawkeyes colors. Hey, look, listen. Let me show you something, Nick.
Hat back on.
You want to see how USA I am? We got these made. Look at this. We got these made. And what does that say right there?
Made in China.
Made in the USA, buddy.
Cool, send me one.
We ain't making no cheap. I'm getting some CP the Tuatic ones made. We line this up. I'm getting some CP the Tuatic ones made.
Listen, I'm trying to start my own T-shirt hat company, so that's my next thing.
I can't even deal with the T-shirt stuff. People ask me about it, and I look into it. You want to talk about an absolute nightmare of like stuff to do when you're already busy. Which, how come I don't have a JD Tico T-shirt yet? I still haven't figured that out yet.
I can tell you why.
Why? I'm too skinny.
Well, tell me your size. We'll send you a shirt.
Oh, I had a 5. I told you I had a 5 extra skinny before. I've talked about this several times. I was actually going to buy one, and then I think you guys were out of stock one time. I don't remember.
Is 5?
I was looking for the 5 extra skinny.
Well, I mean, I think by next year you're going to be down to maybe a 2X, maybe a 1X.
Well, I had a bad week this week. I didn't really do so well.
Why?
Yeah.
Come on.
I didn't have a good week this week. It was not good. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what happened. I think I know what happened. I had pizza. Last week I went out and drank a few beers. I had a couple of Guinness and Angry Orchards. My cousin had a graduation party, and I had a bunch of brisket and stuff, and I got off the rails a little bit. And I haven't drank for over a year, but I had that Guinness, and you know what? There's two things: whiskey and Guinness and Angry Orchard. A snake bite, which the guy argued with me that it wasn't a snake bite, and I'm like, well, a snake bite's a shot, and the drink is an Angry Orchard gives. He's like, no, it's a bruised apple, and I'm like, no, it's not a bruised apple neither, dude. And I'm like, I wanted to say so bad. I'm like, my brother has owned a bar now and he's been in the bar business for 20 years. Like, get out of here. But anyways,
he's got the merch to prove it.
I stopped drinking beer like 3 years ago, but when I was in Germany, I was drinking some beer. Don't get me wrong.
Whiskey was always my thing of choice, but I quit drinking whiskey there last year before. Well, I was already slowing. I've never been a big drinker. I'm not a guy that really like. I can sit if everybody's drinking, I don't have to drink. So
I definitely.
This is like having 4 slices of pizza. I'm not even a coffee drinker. That's the bad part. That's what usually people that like Guinness are black coffee drinkers, and I'm not even that. I just like Guinness and Angry Orchard. That sweet and that dark.
You mix that together?
Yeah, it's called a snake bite in a drink. You pour it so that the Guinness actually floats on top of the, Angry Orchard, and what it does is I don't like the aftertaste of the Guinness. but it kind of sweetens up the Guinness a little bit. I love it.
It sounds like a black and tan, but something.
I don't think you call
It's
it
like a black and tan, only a black and tan is a little bit more stout. This is a more sweeter beer. I mean, it gives me that whiskey flavor. To be honest with you, it's like a. You try one, they're addicting. I can buy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, buddy. You're right. It's a fucking. It's a fucking Guinness and a cider.
A cider. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not even Angry Orchard, but a cider. Better cider.
Oh, the Snake Boy or a Diesel.
Yeah, Diesel. He tried to tell me it was a bruised apple, and I was like, I wanted to be that guy, but I didn't. I was like, listen, I'm not the smartest guy about everything, okay, fellas. I'm not. I mean, this is my problem. Is I research stuff before I open my mouth. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I say stuff and I'm wrong. I understand.
On the 39% thing, you're wrong, but I'm not going to be mad at you about it.
Well, okay, so yeah, I was wrong about but I was talking about something different. In my defense, I was talking about what they sell on the truck. But at 39%, I could see that probably being
80% of the tools on a Snap-on truck are made in America.
Absolutely, I've been on a Snap-on truck plenty of times, Nick. I can go down the line and look in there. First of all their pliers are made. All their hard line. Name a tool. Name a tool truck that has that many USA made tools on their truck that Snap-on.
No, I mean I'm not debating that.
I'd say the closest one's going to be Mac, and they're going to probably be at 25-30%, maybe 30 might be stretching it.
Yeah, I mean I agree 100%. I mean it's Snap-on. There's nobody else who has more tools made in America than Snap-on. And the second one will be Mac, and then probably Cornwall, then Mako. I mean,
well, the biggest thing is Snap, and we're talking about them manufacturing. The two things that they have up on everybody is they're making their own pliers, they're making their own hammers, which you're going to find out. You're not going to like that result, but
I'm going to have to fact check on that one.
Dude, Trusty Cook does not make their. First of all, you know what? I'll tell you why I know for a fact Trusty Cook doesn't make them, because Trusty Cook's process is they do a through tang design. I don't know what's called through tang, but they put the rod all the way through the head. Okay, in the compo cast hammers, and Snap-on actually is a proprietary design where their head is spot welded to the bottom of the peening part, and then they wrap the hammer, because I've seen them things break off before. And the reason they do that is because they get more shot in there and it deadens the blow more.
I gotta get my spies.
Their claim is that it's less vibration. And not only that, if you've ever heard anybody say that a Snap-on hammer swings like a wet noodle, that's because it's like a golf club. They use the golf club theory, where when you hit something, it's at your force and it rebounds. But it doesn't bounce. It
doesn't go through your arm.
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, there's videos out there. There's people that's talked about this, but I'm telling you, it's subject. I'm not saying it makes it the best hammer. That's the thing is, I'm just telling you the facts. Their hammers are designed different than anybody else's. I know that. You know why I know that? Because I was wrong, and I learned that. I did a video way back in when I said that I like the Mac hammer, and I literally was like in the comment section toting my Mac tool knowledge and thinking that I was smart. And the guy was like, well, here's the deal, bud. The Snap-on hammers are built like a golf club. And then he sent me a link, and I started to do the research, and I was like, oh, I was wrong. I got educated by a subscriber. There's a lot of smart guys out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I've learned that from being on YouTube.
This community rocks.
Exactly.
I say it all the time. I make half the shit up that I say, so.
So JWC Tech asked if I got any tools this week, and yes, I did. I'm going to be making a video about it, and I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier in the stream. I'm going to be doing a super DIY friendly transmission fluid change on the Toyota, and I found a made in the USA tool made exclusively for Walmart that I bought at Walmart. So I'm gonna leave it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. But look forward to that video. You will see this week's new tool. I think it is actually a pretty brilliant little tool.
So you're a DIYer, right?
Yeah. I have a side hustle.
What scanner do you use?
I've got two. I've got the Snap-on Modus, and I have an Autel, like a small Autel, like a handheld type.
He's an elevated DIY guy. I will say that he wouldn't be like your average garage weekend guy. I would say.
He's got a pretty good channel, so I would think he's above and beyond. That's why I asked the
Yeah.
question.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've tooled up a little bit. I've got some shop tools, stuff that you wouldn't see at a normal DIY garage. And right now the garage is pretty full because that's what it is. I used to have a bigger shop, and then we moved. Now I'm renting this place. We have a 2-car garage.
Oh, okay. What state we moved for?
We moved from Washington. I lived on Eastern Washington, and we now live in Florida in Jacksonville, and we're loving it here.
Yeah.
From the hurricane stuff.
What made you decide? I don't want to switch too much gears here, but what made you decide to go to Jacksonville over anywhere else in Florida? I'm just curious.
So Florida. Well, go back to the beginning. We were in Vegas. We wanted to change, and my wife wanted Washington. I wanted Florida, and I lost that one. She said 4 seasons for our littlest one. She'll be able to see snow and all that. So, okay, we moved to Washington, and it's not what we wanted it to be. I'll leave it at that. So we were there just a few years, and I said back in March, we were having a conversation, and I said, you know what? We're moving to Florida. And she said, okay. So, and that's as far as we went. And for months, we had no idea where we were going, what city or what part of Florida. But we kept talking about it. We kept going back to Jacksonville. Every time we looked at some other region of Florida, Jacksonville always came back on the radar. And it's where we ended up. We were able to transfer with the company, so that made it a lot easier too. So we're here and we're loving it. It's nice. Fantastic. It's a lot better than I thought it would be. You know, like I thought it would be pretty awesome, but it's even better than that.
It's definitely a great state. I will tell you that much. In my opinion, I'm going to piss some Texas guys off, but I would rather move to Florida than Texas any day.
Yeah. I lived in Texas back in the early days, back when I was in the Air Force. And I like it, but it ain't Florida.
So CP, I'm going to SEMA. What tool line should I be looking for out there to hook up with?
Oh man, top down. I told you always got to expand. I know you're dealing with Altel, but I'd definitely be getting on the top down train. I told you that last year though too. And top down, you got to have options out there. Top down's got a little bit more affordability. But they also have some very nice scan tools, the layouts. I like the overall design, and then the customer service has been great. It's a fantastic company, I think. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say that outright because I've only been dealing with them for about 6 months. But I just really feel strongly that they're doing things the right way. They're when I talked to them at Vision, they were just great people. They got their heads on right, and. That's me. I'm a stickler. Like I don't. I try not to put any crap on my channel. Once in a while, I throw something out there. But at the end of the day, if I wouldn't trust it, I'll use the Knicks phrase. If they build a parachute and I wouldn't buy it, then I don't want it.
That's pretty good.
That's the Knicks saying. If Harbor Freight made a parachute, would you buy it? Absolutely not.
But do you know how close they are related to Launch? Are they like a spin-off from Launch, or am I just making that up?
I heard it's a combination of, I forget, Launch and somebody else. They're just
Launch and Altel, and there's like several conglomerates.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that they have a little bit of visual aids in with their scan tool, which I'm always thinking about the other next guy. That's what I've always been. I'm the guy that wastes my energy worrying about the next guy. I know that's a thing of the past now because everybody's like, oh, who cares about the next guy? We'll thread it. We'll give her the old cross thread and send her. But me, yeah. I have integrity, and I grew up that way. And a lot of guys that I worked with had integrity, like never leave a job better than you found it. Always leave a job better than you found it. And the thing about the top down stuff is that it definitely helps out guys that are a little bit less they're a little more challenged with diagnostic, and I like that. It was just a little more user friendly. The Altel can get confusing. People don't understand the topographical yet. There's some things and stuff like that, but and their support's great. Altel support's really great. I think that's the biggest thing is we got to do the ABCs of tools. Keep it super simple, and I think that was something that I appreciated about them. So, as far as anything else, Nick, I think as well as I do, everybody's like thirsty for something new. That's the name of the game, right? In the tool business, every new coming out, it's been dead. It's been dead this year because everybody's struggling to keep up with production and nobody's had time. I know Lyle's got some stuff in the works, but they're months out of getting their product released because production. It's everything's backed up.
Yeah,
We're trying to play catch up.
At least Lyle, I love the Lyle company. I really do. Good people, good company. And they make, they're probably, and people don't understand how big of a company they are and how much stuff that they actually make in-house. And I've had this conversation. They have a lot of products, and it doesn't say "Made in USA" on them because 90% of the kit is made in USA, but maybe 10-15% of it isn't. So they don't even. They don't even bother going down the road, getting themselves in trouble, or somebody call them on it.
Right,
so
and they don't care. Yeah,
they're going to sell anybody.
They're more than your 39%.
Yeah, there's a lot more Lyle stuff that's made than probably, but they're not on the tool truck. But there's a lot more Lyle stuff that's made in USA. They want to build stuff in house because they have a good program going.
All right, listen. What's the first tool Lyle ever made?
Oh,
first tool.
That was clear back in 1900s. I don't know. You got me.
They had a donkey powered drill.
No donkey.
Yep. A donkey.
Donkey.
A donkey. Donkey.
One donkey power.
Yeah. Okay, that's the first product they ever made. So, yeah, that's. I mean,
Did you read the website?
I'm trying to set that up in my head. What would that even look like?
Well, I guess the donkey went in circles and it drilled a hole in the ground. Something like that.
Is it on their website? I
was shooting craps with them. They were telling me the story.
Oh, okay. I know that. Iowa. I know how Iowa people are, and I'm not trying to brag about it, but I know Iowa people are very hometowny. Well, no, I don't know that we're just proud. We're just. I think the thing about it is we're just like we just stick together. And I think that they're very family oriented. That's like their small town. I mean, that's my feel on everything. Like I like to have that feeling like I can trust people. You know what I mean? And Lyle sticks by that 100%. They just had the Mustang Club down there at their place, and the guys called me and said, "Hey, do you want to come down here? We're having the Mustang Club. It'd be a great time to do a video." I was like, "Man, I can't make it." But they had the entire they came. They did a tour of the factory. Out of the blue, they just asked them. I mean, how many companies are going to allow you to come in to do that? Like, do you think Snap-on just says, "Oh, yeah, dude, come up"? No, they're going to schedule it, make you wait 2 months. You know what I mean? Like, and Lyle's just so easygoing. That's basically what I'm talking about. Like, with me, with Iowa, I feel like that's how a lot of us are. That's, we're easygoing until, of course, I get excited and then I get angry. But at the end of the day, I really am pretty easygoing. Like, if you're cool with me, I'll be the most, I'll help you do anything, and that's how those guys are. They don't, every time I talk to them, they're absolutely impressive about how they, they just are like, "Oh yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah,
They're good people. I've hung out. I've had dinner with them. I've hung out with them. Shot craps with them.
Different than Italians. Italians are like, "We'll cut your throat. You mess with our family."
Jersey Italians they're a little different, You can come in, but you can't get out.
Yeah. It's not that kind of family here. It's more of the kind of family where we're just like, "Hey, come over and have a picnic. Let's hang out."
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Anyways, yeah. So I just don't know any tools though that are. I don't know any company that I see that's really gonna come out with anything that's gonna be super exciting. I'm sure Snap-on will probably come out with a couple things, but look at how and nobody's came out with anything. 2022, I think it's safe to say we're approaching October, and the tool industry is a disappointment for innovation. There's been no tools in 2022 that have really jumped off the page to me as being like game changers.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. I mean, I mean, like, not just sitting here and drawing a blank. I mean, like the new tool that Lyle has, that thing's pretty cool. That's gonna be nice. That's gonna be a big seller.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it's not like a game. It's not like a tool. The thing about it is like I'm talking about a tool that like makes technicians money hand over fist. You know, like that's the thing about it is there's been no tool. Like I remember, let's see. Well, I'm gonna like the year. This one's one I can just think of. I don't know why it popped up in my head when Lyle came out with the extended reach, the tool for cleaning off the thermostats in the Dodge Chryslers. That job I know for a fact paid 2.3 hours, and that took that job down to like 45 minutes for that tool because you could reach down in the thermostats of the 5 to 9 and clean the thermostat gasket without having to pull the air compressor off or the air conditioner.
well, how about the Lyle hub remover? We sold a ton of those things.
Yeah, but it's not. It's the thing about it is I've used it a couple of times. It's a great tool and it's nice when it works, but if you get into a nasty hub, you've got to be worried about breaking that ear off. And even the guys at Lyle told me that they were hesitant about releasing it because of that fact, because they were worried that they were going to get liability issues with, that kind of garbage. You get the Hercules mechanic out there who's got more brawn than brains, and he just starts putting the beans to that thing, which we all know there's guys out there because I've watched guys that take 1/4-inch ratchets and stick it on an 18-millimeter bolt, and then they yank it and they're like, dude, I broke my ratchet. This thing's a piece of garbage. Well,
I've seen guys put 1/4-inch chrome universals, 10-millimeter on a 1/2-inch impact. So
yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
I've seen guys have a 1/2-inch impact with a 1/4-inch hex bit adapter on there somewhere.
Yeah, well,
that's a great tool, the JTGO problem solver. I forgot about that.
The problem solver. That's like the warranty checker on steroids.
But that also is a good tool for brake rotors. If you know how to use it, that's a good tool for
brake rotors. Bring your impact down. It's all about that little bang, 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 bang to get it out. We sold the shit out of those things.
Well, the biggest problem with tools is it's the people that use them. Half the people don't know how to use them. That's the thing about a tool. And that's where, I've seen people make comments on stuff, and I'm like, well, first of all, if you don't know how to use them, then how can you blame it on the tool? Okay. And they're like, well, it should have held up. Okay. Theoretically, it should have held up. But, when you put a 1/2-inch ratchet and a 5-foot cheater pipe on it and it broke and you split your skull, was that the tool's fault? No. Let's use some morals and integrity and say, hey, look, I pushed the limits. I paid the price.
I still have a tool route, and there's guys, as soon as I pull in, I'm waiting to see what he's walking in my truck in his hand, because the same guys break tools every, and then there's guys. I had a customer one time, right? He became a good friend of mine. I walked in the shop one day. He's like, hey, I need a 5/8 socket, and I go, all right, no problem, I can get it. And I said, he's like, just charge me for it. I said, well, did you break one or did you lose it? He goes, no, I broke it. I said, well, it's warranted. He goes, nah. He goes, listen, man. He goes, I was tugging on it pretty hard. I knew it was going to break, and I should have stopped, but I didn't, and I broke the socket. I go, it's still warranted. He goes, dude. He goes, nah, man. It wasn't the socket's fault. It was my fault.
Right.
I warranted it for him, but
right, but that's integrity. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and warranty's there for, and don't get me wrong, the warranty does mean that, you should, but it's only, a warranty is like insurance, you're only supposed to use it if you have to. And that's why prices have risen, because those guys that go, oh, it's lifetime. I mean, I've literally been in a shop where a guy's like, I don't give a shit, dude. Run that thing. It's warranted. We'll just throw another one in. And guess what? That's not the right way. I mean, when you're trying to torque down a Duramax crank bolt with a 1/2-inch drive torque wrench, it's supposed to be torqued to 368 foot-pounds. and and that thing's maxed out at 300, and you're like, oh, I'll just take it a little bit further. That's misusing the tool. I don't care who builds it or whatnot. I mean,
my favorite is I walk to the shop. Guy hands me 2 broken Torx bits. One's solid, one's the tamper proof. And I don't even bother saying anything anymore. I just hand him 2 new ones. But what I want to say to him is like, well, you broke the solid one, so now you thought the one with the hole in it was going to take it out.
Yeah.
It's a tamper proof, and what you were doing is probably using a T30 on a rotor screw, and you couldn't get it out, so you put the tamper proof in there, which made no sense whatsoever. And I absolutely seen that happen a million times too. And maybe because being a tool guy, I have a different mentality of things. I get it. The warranties are, and you'll never win this argument with anybody. You know as well as I do.
I don't even bother anymore. I just hand them a new one.
Yeah, it's not worth the trouble. But you would make your life easier if you just did the right thing with the tools. And when they do break, yes, the warranty's there. But the sad part about it, just like my ratchets, I just said that on my ratchet video the other day. I'd never break my ratchets because if I'm using a 1/4 inch, like that long 12-inch long snap-on ratchet, it's so easy to stick a 15 millimeter on and just yank on that and pull like 150 foot-pounds on it because it's 12 inches wrong. But
I've had that thing banned on me, but it springs back.
You know what I did the first day I bought that thing? Basically hung off an oil drain plug with it. I mean, I literally took it and I was like, and it didn't break. Don't get me wrong, it didn't break, but that's what impressed me. And I was like, dude, this thing held my skinny butt up.
My skinny butt.
That is impressive, though. Right. I mean, it's a little tiny ratchet. It's a 1/4 inch drive, but man, it can really hold up.
Yeah, it's no joke. I mean, I've taken ratchets that are smaller than that one and just took the guts and stripped them out like it was a bicycle chain. I mean, I've destroyed ratchets before. Don't get me wrong, but I throw them in the garbage usually with that ratchet because they were cheap ratchets anyways. I mean, I had I don't remember what it was. I had a couple of cheap ratchets when I was younger. I know what they were. There was one of them was the tool shop ones or whatever. And I just threw them in the garbage. I wasn't even going to waste my time getting them warranty because they didn't hold up for nothing. And the Craftsman ones, I bet you I threw away a dozen Craftsman ratchets. Didn't even bother warranting them because when they busted, I was like, I don't want another one. Probably stupid. I wish I'd have kept them now because they were vintage, and I could have probably, that could have made money on them. If you've been on eBay and seen Craftsman stuff, it's ridiculous what people are paying for raised panel Craftsman tools. They're not even worth it.
Give them for $10 back in the day.
I'd rather buy Pittsburgh Pro than raised panel Craftsman stuff back in the day. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. I've bent so many Craftsman raised panel wrenches in my life. It's just I had one still forever that I kept, and I warrantied it out just for fun to see what I was going to get. But I never was a fan of the Craftsman. The Pro Series tools were good, but they were also being made by KD. The Craftsman stuff was basically like it was the Harbor Freight of tools, only they were not that great back. The sockets weren't bad. The sockets, I will say, were good, but the raised panel stuff, those ratchets, horrible.
I used to break the teeth out of those things. Easy.
Shred them.
They had the name, and they still do, though.
Yeah, yeah. So speaking of ratchets, I want to kind of do one more giveaway. This is one that I'm excited about. I was talking to Nick Jr. about this today because I had one picked out, and the JDT code deal changed. So now I have another one. I think this is going to be pretty good. Let me show you, because this one I don't have at home. So let me go with that right there.
You're gonna do Milwaukee ratchet giveaway?
Let me try that again here. No, it's not a Milwaukee. It's not a Milwaukee. It's the M12 Milwaukee. I've got So I'm trying to do two things at once here. But the DeWalt, the yellow ratchet, I've looked at that, and it's terrible.
I think I mean, like the archaic. I love DeWalt stuff, but that ratchet's just.
Okay, so here we go.
You're gonna give away that ratchet?
I'm gonna give away this ratchet right here. Yeah.
Wait, let me share this out. Let me try to share this out.
Share this out.
Because we can try to get some more. Because this is a big one. A 200. You're going to give away a $240 ratchet tonight.
Oh yeah. And
wow.
one of my subscribers is going to get this thing, and
yeah, that'd be very wise.
This is going to be 8 or a 1/4 inch, depending on winner's choice. I'll give it winner's choice. Pretty much the same ratchet, isn't it?
Yeah, I highly recommend the 1/4 inch to anybody that. I the 1/4 inch is just more useful. Is this a new high speed one? Or is this a long neck?
No, the high speed ones aren't out yet.
Oh damn, that sucks.
This is the extended, the long reach. I think that's the way to go. The long reach.
I mean, granted, I don't like Milwaukee ones. You know how my feelings are, but the long reach ratchets are definitely the only way to go. If I had to pick a choice between a short one or a long one, it would be a long one at 900 times over one. Yeah. Because they're absolutely invaluable. They changed the game of cordless ratchets for me.
Now you've got one of these, don't you?
Me?
Or do you use the Snap-on?
I have a shelf full.
I have a Snap-on.
Nick's got a shelf full of these.
I only use a Snap-ons when it comes to long range ratchet. That paddle for me, once again, is almost this. I will give it to this much. If it was going to go in order of ratchets, I would go Snap-on, Milwaukee. I don't know where DeWalt would be because they screwed themselves on when they did that. But there's definitely better ratchets than Milwaukee and Snap-on. The only two I'd even think about. There's nobody else even in the realm. I mean, they're just, regardless of your choice of brand, it doesn't matter. Those are the only two those are the only two players in the game. Let me share this out in the stream though, real quick.
Yeah, do that. And I've been using the rigid 18 volt for a while, and they just kind of died on me. And I ended up doing a set of M12 cordless, and I really like the way they work. I'm not a Milwaukee fanboy. I'll buy what works, but because of it, that's why I want to give this thing away. I usually use air for my ratchets, and I don't even.
What air ratchet do you use?
I use the Snap-on for the long one, and I've got a little Astro pneumatic for my short one. I've got two Snap-on. I've got the Snap-on 1/4 inch also. So when I'm doing big stuff, chassis bolts and stuff like that, I use the big the Snap-on one with some horsepower, and then the just to get in little tight spots. I really like that Astro pneumatic. It's real short. It's like this, just fits inside my hand, so it can get in pretty much any place.
I have an air ratchet on my tool truck. It's been on my tool truck now. It's got to be 6 or 8 years. I can't give it away. I had a vendor approach me. I'm not going to say what brand it was. They wanted to sell me, and they probably had 200-300 of them, 1/2-inch drive air ratchets for $5, and I didn't buy them for $5.
Wait, 1/2-inch drive?
1/2-inch drive air ratchets for $5 each. And I was like, I don't think I'll sell them. I don't think I'll ever be able to sell them. And I passed on them. And I tried to buy all kinds of closeout shit, but that for $5, can you imagine for $5? And I was like, no, I'll never sell them.
I'd buy it. I like air tools. I get made fun of for using air tools, but I think they work pretty well. I use cordless because they're convenient, but I like the feel of air tools better.
The Thor is still the #1 impact on the rank chart for the Torque Test channel. It's an air operated impact. I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to it, my little 3H2112 Ingersoll, it's still got more power than 90% of the cordless tools out there. When you give it the right air. I mean, that's the problem. And not only that, it's lighter. That's what kills me about cordless tools. I'm becoming a cordless tool hater, I know, because but it's like, dude, when you start thinking about batteries, let's say you replace batteries every 5 years. I've had my air tools for 20 years. I've had to do slight maintenance on them. I make sure that they don't go on water. I can repair my own air tools, but in 20 years, I've never had to put those tools. I paid $300 on average for a piece, and I've never had to put any money into them. If you buy cordless batteries at $80 a pop every 5 years, you're looking at a $2,000 investment in those cordless tools. And I understand they're convenient and there's a lot of pros and cons. And I'm not saying that you don't have to not buy cordless tools, but at the end of the day, theoretically and practically, when you're speaking, air tools are still better than cordless tools. And I will die on that hill, you know, and it's just a fad because people do what they're like lemmings. They do what's cool and everybody buys.
The air hose doesn't bother me. You know, like a lot of people talk about your cordless, you know, your hoseless or whatever. But for me, it doesn't bother me for some reason, unless I'm on the interior of a car. I don't like dragging greasy hoses through someone's stuff.
That is definitely a big thing right there. Cordless tools in a car are definitely. I've messed up stuff myself plenty of times. I will say, drag a piece of grease with you in there. Especially when you're working on somebody's Mercedes, they tend to get a little bit growly. And not only that, it's a pain in the ass to get them cleaned out when you drag them across a nice white leather or tan leather. And then your air hose is never clean. I don't care who you are. Tell me your air hose is clean, you're a liar.
Work hose.
It stays clean, like it doesn't get ever dirty.
It's you know, listen, you're right. Nothing's ever clean, but like it's got like a Kevlar coating on it. Hit it with brake clean, wipes off. You know, the rubber you'll wipe a rubber hose off for 3 weeks, and it's not going to ever be clean.
Right.
Work hose is that. I tell you, man, that stuff's impressive. Not a lot of stuff impresses me. The first time I seen it at a tool show, I was like, damn. And the guy's absolutely passionate out of his mind about that hose. You know, and we sell a ton of it. And I think in all the years we've been selling it, we had one guy had a defective one and one guy broke one. That's it.
Well, there's Kevlar like on the outside.
Yeah, it's just
that Kevlar wrap.
A Kevlar coating over it.
So it stays cleaner. It doesn't have that rubber to attach to everything it touches, like collect dirt and everything. It doesn't collect dirt like all the other ones do. So that's nicer. Yeah.
Heat don't affect it. Cold don't affect it. You tie it in a knot and it weighs nothing.
Perfect. You know what? Maybe I should buy one. I should get one of those for me because that would be something that one thing I deal with here that I have a problem with always is I have two different hoses because one's too stiff for the wintertime and the other's too stiff for the summertime. So I have to switch out air hoses. And I've been doing that for years because it's just a pain in my ass. You know, and if you don't, then they just break down faster.
Yeah. So like I said, the work hose, it's really, really, really something. And it's I never pay attention to it anymore because, you know, honestly, I'm using cordless tools more. I'm a hypocrite because I'm sitting here talking about air tools. I mean, it is what it is. You know, I mean, the convenience is definitely nice. I mean, for me, I don't take my air tools with me to shops because I don't know what their line pressures are. I don't know what their line likes it. So I don't want to deal with like where it's a controlled environment. My deal, I know that I'm not getting water in my air tools. You know, I guess I care about my stuff. But when I go to a shop and I use a cordless tool, most of the time I'm using a ratchet and it's just a small impact anyways, because I'm not doing heavy duty stuff. But, you know, my 3/8 DeWalt and my Snap-on get the most use and my Snap-on ratchets get the most use. It's just, that's all I really need. But when you get an air hammer now, that's a different story. I mean, when it comes to air hammer time, that's why I have air. Air hammers are when you're doing anything suspension wise, it's not even worth here where I'm at in the Varsity area. It's not even worth messing around with trying to get stuff off. Cut it, break it, snap it. There's a handful of tools that air is still, you know. I mean, you know, again, there's a lot of Milwaukee fanboys, myself included. I sell a lot of Milwaukee tools,
right?
But I mean, like angle die grinder, air is nice. Cutoff tool, air is nice, and Milwaukee does work and they're good. But there's some tools that air is nice. And Matt McKegney from Aircat always says, as long as tires have air in them, we're going to sell air tools.
Right. You know what? The thing about Milwaukee, I will give it to, is why they have so much support is because they're taking care of their dealers. And that's 100% the reason why they're being successful is because like that's why you're dealing with them, Nick, right? You can send a tool to them. You don't have to hassle with it. They're handling it. You know, they handle their warranty. That's
Milwaukee has the best warranty in the business. Milwaukee has the best warranty of any company I've ever dealt with in my life. as long as that tool wasn't underwater, they're going to warranty it.
Right.
I mean, if it's flooded, it's 50-50. Sometimes they'll do it. Sometimes they'll be like, water damage. But I mean, when's enough? These guys buy these tools and they want them. You want to, get the shop gets flooded and it was literally under the water for 3 days and they hand it to me and I'm like, guys, come on, man. They're not
all the Florida mechanics are gonna be doing. Can you imagine?
You're right.
You imagine? Oh my God.
Yep.
It's a 50,
Hey, dude, something's wrong with my Milwaukee tool. Shit. Oh, here's another one. I talked to Nick about this. What do you think about Matco's now selling? They've teamed up with Milwaukee. This is something I haven't talked about really yet. I guess I would have talked about on my live stream, but Matco actually teamed up with Milwaukee now, and
so they're just selling straight up Milwaukee tools, or are they rebranding them?
They haven't said that. So I talked to my dealer. I called Parker up and I was like, dude, what's the deal? And he's like, we're just selling them. So the kit deal they got coming out is a dealer special. You're giving away a free grease gun when you buy the mid torque and the high torque impact for like $800, which Nick's got that deal and he blew him out of the water on price on it. 49. So like you're a fool if you buy it off the Matco truck and just not buy it, off Nick. And you can do a firm payments or something. Don't you have something a firm or where you can do payments on your website too? So I mean, like that's the other thing.
Guys have no money. We do layaway. We try to do something different.
That's the thing about the internet right now is it's like that's where the tool trucks are losing because they offer. I see what's the one? There's Beazle or something like that. There's a firm. I see them pop up all the time. You can make this even on Amazon now. They're they're giving credit out to everybody. For this stuff.
Yeah, like 6 months.
Yeah. So
free interest and that kind of stuff.
So why would you? If you're going to get to be able to buy something and do like a firm and buy it from Nick, and then you can pay the $200 less. Why in the hell would you ever pay it on buying it off Matco? You know what I mean? Like take the chance to make the 4 payments. You know what I mean? Like I will say that's one thing I don't condone with Matt. They do have a few tools that you can't get anywhere else right now. They eventually will be available to other people. And I don't understand why they're abandoning their Infinium line when they just started building it. That's the other thing. I think it's pretty stupid that they're doing that, but there must have been some kind of Techway is the one that builds their tools. And I'm guessing there must be some problems. There must be some drama in the love nest is why.
JWC Tech says they're still going to sell the Infinium, but they have an exclusive deal with Milwaukee. So does that mean they have exclusive right to sell a certain tool or something like that?
They're gonna sell Milwaukee. I talked to Parker, and they're gonna sell Milwaukee, and they're going to they're supposedly still keeping. There's no sign. They never said anything about getting rid of the Infinium line. They're just going to do. They have this deal with Milwaukee. This is the first one deal. I'll send you the flyer, but. He didn't specify how much they were going to get deep, but there's so many Matco guys already selling Milwaukee. It's just like I just said, though, the same thing, Nick. The thing why Milwaukee's winning in the game, which they're not the biggest tool company, cordless tool company. Keep in mind, DeWalt's still bigger than them. DeWalt still sells more cordless tools than Milwaukee, but they are definitely. So? Yeah, I'll look it up. You can fact check me. I'll listen. I'll stake my reputation on it, Nick. Well, I know. Well, first of all, you got to think about this. Stanley Black & Decker is the #1 tool company in the world by leaps and bounds. There's no company out there that even touches them. They own so many tool companies. That's one thing. 2, they're talking about DeWalt.
Apex is bigger?
Hell no. Apex doesn't even touch them. Look it up, dude. Apex is not even in the ballpark. I mean, I'm telling you, dude. Like they're rounding first base, and Stanley is at third. I mean, they are a titan of tools. It's a known fact that I'm just saying, like, dude, I really don't. I mean, it's not why I like Stanley. I don't like Stanley. But the tools that some of the stuff they're doing, I like what they're doing better than anybody else. It has nothing. I don't like any company. I'm anti.
I like me. That's it.
Well, I like you too, but I mean, I like what you're doing too, and I understand there's gray areas and everything. But Apex has done so many dirty shit in the past that it's
yeah. I
they're
mean, but you know what though? Every tool company is like
they have everybody's got their dark horse.
I'm tired of saying it. The tool business is the most hoard out industry in the world. It is. It's everybody steals everybody's ideas. You know, it's just a cutthroat.
Oh, it is. Everybody's sleeping with everybody's girlfriend. Absolutely.
Mhm.
It is a swinger of tools. Here's the one thing though too. I don't think it's a tool company. I don't think it's tool industry, Nick. If you look at the automotive industry in general, the whole industry is like that. Shop owners, screw mechanics. Comes right down from the top. GM, Ford, Chrysler. If Henry Ford knew what was going on today, he would not be happy with how his company is being ran. You know, I mean, like these people have literally turned something that was once revered as a staple in modern engineering and what is it? Workforce. What am I thinking of here? Factory. What is it called? What do they call it? Henry Ford invented the
assembly line.
Assembly line, yeah, assembly line workers and factory workers. This was something that was that America stood for, and now we stand for CEOs and private jets going out with strippers and this and that. I mean, like the stuff you don't know about what's going on in the background of these guys that are staying in hotels that are $1,200 a night hotels, and the amount of money that they waste on a daily basis would make most people's salaries in a year.
Yeah, and they don't even think twice about it.
Right.
I got a lot of stories. I'm not even gonna say it.
No, dude, I keep you. Listen, Nick, I was at the meetings with some of those people when I went out and I got in friends with them. I mean, I hung out with Scott. I hung out with Coletta. Okay, I mean, and that dude does not give a flying F. You know, Connie Coletta doesn't care. He does not care. He will literally hang it right out his zipper. I mean, and that dude has more money than he has a lot of. He owns his own airline. Connie Coletta. I mean, like those guys are but they. That's the thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's capitalism. It's okay to have that. But I mean, there's no morals, and a lot of those guys is their ethics, their code of ethics is get the money first. Who cares about what everybody else? We're not worried about Joe Blow that works in the shop buying these things. When it trickles down the line, everybody in between makes the money, not the guy that buys the tool.
No, listen, we're and trust me, JTCO, we're not getting rich out here. We're just trying to make a living and have a little fun too, but no, there's nobody rich out here. Trust me. I wish I was.
Nick, do you have a pen and paper handy?
I'll grab one.
We're gonna go old school on this one.
Yeah, I love old school.
Yeah, since this, I'm gonna share the screen here again. Since we've got, let's see, here we go. Since we're doing a giveaway from the JDTCO store. Now, this is not sponsored by JDTCO. This is sponsored by the Tool Demos channel. I'm giving this one away. No, Nick actually doesn't know anything about it. I talked to Nick Jr. there at the store, and he's going to be able to send whoever wins this ratchet directly, either the 1/4 inch or the 3/8. So I'm not going to get it. I'm not putting my fingers on it or anything, but Nick is going to write down his number. It's going to be from 1 to 100. And we're going to have a little contest here.
I'm writing your number down?
Yeah, just write down a number between 1 and 100. Don't show the people the number, but show them the piece of paper so we know we're not cheating here. We're not going to. There you go. There's the piece of paper. Now, I'll give you a minute. I know there's a bit of a delay on YouTube. So for the next minute, come up with a number. You get one opportunity to put your guess between 1 and 100. What? Just write down on that piece of paper. We're doing Price is Right rules. So if you're over, it doesn't count. It goes to the next guy. So closest without going over wins a Milwaukee M12 extended reach ratchet, either 3/8 or 1/4 inch. So put in your guesses right now.
And I'll throw in a set of free sockets with it too. As long as I ship it. Yeah, I'll throw it.
Sweet.
I'll throw a set of sockets in.
So it is sponsored by JD Tico now. We've got a set of sockets
It's a partnership.
It's a partnership. That's awesome. Thank you. That's
you got it, man.
Really cool. So we got some answers coming in.
I'm looking.
This is pretty exciting. I gave away that ratchet last year, and I had, I pulled up a random comment picker, let the comment picker decide, and it picked the same person twice. So I gave away a pocket pry bar, and then the same guy won a ratchet, and I'm like, dang it, it didn't work out how I wanted it to. So I think this is gonna be better. So you pick a number between 1 and 100. Whoever's closest, without going over, wins a Milwaukee M12 ratchet. This is pretty exciting. Like, I don't even own one of these things. I won't even get a chance to try it out. It's not even coming to this house. It's going straight to the winner.
Very, very, very. Nobody's close yet. Somebody was well. I'm not gonna say nothing, but nobody.
Yeah, don't say who's close yet. We'll give them a little bit of time to put their answers in.
This chat should be flying right now.
The chat should be flying. Is everyone?
Like, your one guess.
Are you sleeping right now?
Am I?
No, I mean the people out there. Are you guys asleep right now? Because you have a chance to win a really sweet prize right now. Put your guess in.
Are people watching the game? What's going on here?
I don't know.
I was at the hockey game.
Yeah, there's a UCLA game on, Washington UCLA game on too. It's halftime right now. It's halftime. It's but
it's halftime.
But UCLA is winning. Unfortunately, I can't believe it. Like they literally have 10 people watching the game from UCLA, but they're winning somehow. UCLA has like the lowest fan base in all of college football. They made a joke and said that Iowa had more fans at the 1 o'clock rain delay game than UCLA had at their game. Yeah. They're coming to the Big Ten. Anyways, I'm big into college football.
They've got good weather for it too.
I should have been out to Jersey when we played Rutgers last weekend, hang out with Nick and watch the game.
It was probably 10 minutes from my house.
Rutgers, yeah, I don't know where the stadium is, but
Rutgers, no, where'd they play? They play at the Rutgers Stadium,
yeah, the Rutgers Stadium. I don't know where it's at, but it's in Jersey.
About an hour.
I know it's an hour. I know it's in New Jersey. Well, still, that's not that far. I mean, I got to drive an hour. Yeah. Maybe not though. That city driving through New Jersey is probably different than Iowa driving. An hour for me is like 50 miles. An hour in New York is like 10 miles.
New Jersey Giants, New York Giants, whatever you want to call them. The stadium's in New Jersey, but that's like 15 minutes from us.
Yeah.
You ever go down to those games?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Which game?
Giants.
Yeah. I'm not a big football fan, but I've been there a bunch of times. I used to be a baseball fan. Been to Yankee Stadium a million times, but we're hockey fans. Season tickets, New Jersey Devils.
Now we're close to the Jacksonville Jaguars, so I'm not much of a football fan either. But maybe we'll see a game.
Yeah, tons of college. I like college football. I'm unfortunately an Iowa fan, and this year we've got the world's worst offense, but it is what it is. We're going to have to play Michigan tomorrow. People are underestimating Michigan, I think.
All right, I'll give 30 more seconds. You still have a chance to win this ratchet. Yeah, we got to get numbers going. Put your number up on there.
Peter Savinsky says 56. Scuba says 23. Rajan says 36. Do we have anybody in here yet? We got to keep numbers. We got to get those. Keep rolling with them, boys. Keep hitting those numbers.
What answer this guy's question? He said, "Have I been to the new or old Yankee Stadium?" Been to both of them. I've been to the old stadium a lot, and I definitely missed the old stadium. The old stadium was really nice. The new stadium is nice, but it lost that feel,
No history there.
Yeah, I went to a New Jersey Devil game at Yankee Stadium, the Winter Series. I was never so cold in my life. Reason.
Come on, I'm going to leave this up to Nick. If I don't see any more up there, we're just going to
hit those numbers.
Let me see. The closest number.
Oh wait,
go ahead.
Keep picking numbers. Let's try it again. Keep picking numbers, guys. Like just keep throwing numbers out there. Don't even worry about I think they need to understand. You can say your number more than one. Try a number. If your number didn't win, say another number. This should go a little bit. This should go a little bit better than what this is going.
I'm surprised. We've got 20 something people here.
Yeah, see, Turbo
and I don't
Ty
see 20 something guesses.
Yeah, well, Turbo Ty says, yes, if you can pick more than one number, that's pick a number until we find a winner. Here we go. Now we're rolling. Come on. Get in here, son. There we go. Now you're getting it. Yeah. Throw them numbers in there. Look at them coming.
Get crazy. Fucking let's pick numbers.
There we go. Now we got it rolling right. I don't think people understood that. There you go.
You should be a bingo caller then.
Oh, Turtle Poop. What's up, man? Turtle Poop. He's a good dude.
Turtle Poop with a $5 super sticker. Thank you much for that. Very generous. Thank you.
We got numbers coming in now, boys. Hey,
okay,
Turtle Poop.
Numbers coming in.
Turtle Poop, we're doing a giveaway for Milwaukee. $240 ratchet. Pick a number between 1 and 100. You can win right now. Louis Casienda. There we are. We got the people coming in now. Watch that screen, Nick. See if you see that number pop up. Turbo Ty, 39%.
39%.
Never gonna live that down now. I'm gonna be 39% the man I ever always was.
39%, not 40, 39.
We got JW Tech 20. We got Louis Casienda 22. Raging says 100. That was a good one right there. Scuba comes in with 100. 6, 11, 18, 23, 5, 13, 7, 18, 8, 10, 39. I've seen 39.
Sounds like an auction in here.
72, 67, 89, 61, 98.
Yeah, I don't have the answer to this. The only person who can give this away is Nick. He knows the answer.
This is my favorite number.
Okay, so let's narrow it down.
Number.
Let's narrow it down. Is it between 1 and 50 or 50 and 100?
Well, don't answer the question because the people are still putting in their numbers.
Well, I know, but I mean, like, what if we should narrow it down if we're not getting it? So, is it between 50 and 100? You don't think we should do that? I don't want to step on your toes here, but I mean, if they're not getting it,
CWC 123.
We'll
keep going.
I wanted
text me the number so I can watch too, Nick.
Yeah, they're coming fast now.
They're coming real fast. See if I see anybody that's got it.
We definitely got
to put it.
All right. Let me double check to make sure.
The closer we got, somebody's 3 digits off is all I'm going to say.
Oh, man. Now the numbers are just flying by.
This is fun. I like this. You got to work. You're going to earn this one. You guys they're typing madly in here. Keep going, boys. Don't give up yet. We're almost there. Somebody's got to get this. I mean, even with 27 people, somebody's llama 0.
Now this is Nick's favorite number, so I know as soon as he sees it, he's gonna call the person out.
Oh, we got a winner.
We got a winner? Who was it?
You see it, Nick?
No. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You see it?
I do. OG Scuba, right?
OG Scuba Steve is the winner. The number was 53. Nope. The one before that. Before that one. Go up. 53. I don't believe it. I didn't see anybody.
Steve.
If anybody, I didn't see anybody else put 53 in there the entire time.
There was a 56.
Yeah, there was a 52. There was a 50. Somebody put a 50. I'm looking through even to double check just to verify. There was a 35, and I got excited. I was like, "Oh, we got 54." Scuba Steve said 54 twice.
Yeah, real close.
Yeah, not a single person. 63 was Llama. He was getting in there. Yep, 39.
There it is. Yeah, 53.
Yeah, nobody else. I don't see anybody else that even had. Nobody else said 53. That's a legit deal right there. That was actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, either call us or
Yeah, just send me Scuba Steve. Send me an email. I'll get information, and then when I go onto the JD Tico site, I'll put in your address as the shipping address. Does that sound all right?
The good thing is it's going to be cheap shipping for Nick. He's in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's a day rate.
That's going to be a quick deal. However, right there,
$100.
Dude. This gave away over $300 worth of tools tonight.
What I should have done?
That's pretty awesome.
It was how much did JD Tico spend on shipping last year?
Oh, dude. You know what? You should
That'd
do.
Be a good number to guess.
Speaking of, I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but that would actually be a really awesome giveaway for you. Like, do it with a sale. You know, these guys are doing all these sale stuff. I think this would be awesome. I don't know why you haven't done this, but if you do a giveaway where to enter, you buy something and you have a chance to win a huge Milwaukee like deal, like a $2,000 Milwaukee deal. Dude, that would be
$2,000.
Listen, Nick, listen. Listen, the actual numbers on this work out. If you're selling $50, some $50 tool to get an entry, and you get, just do some quick math on this. You're selling a $50 tool, and somebody's got a chance to win a $2,000 tool, and you sell 4,000 of those $50 tools. Are you okay?
4,050? Nobody's gonna buy 4,000 tools. On a
let me tell you this much. I know one YouTuber who did a giveaway on a car, and he netted over $1 million on a $25,000 car.
Well, who was it? It was, Whistling Diesel.
I'm just saying. Well, here's the thing: is
Nick from JD Tico.
I know, but listen, Nick. Listen, Nick. Here's the thing: is this is why I like these giveaways, because you're not a loser. If you bought something and you got a tool, you're still a winner.
Well, we do them all the time. We're doing the Devil's Fingers a giveaway. We're giving away gift cards.
Right.
Random gift cards.
Yeah, but like a big giveaway, like a big over the top giveaway. I feel like you don't think you could pull one of those off, or like if you say for the next 30 days, every time you spend $5 on the JD Tico website, you're going to get an entry into this giveaway. And I'm telling you what, dude, I feel like this, to me, I've entered in several of them. I'm not going to lie to you. And I never feel like I lose. I like these giveaways because you're getting something. And if you don't win, you didn't lose. You still got your stuff.
Yeah, we do a lot of mystery envelopes, mystery boxes. We've been doing things like that for years. We do Black Friday. We do a big mystery box thing. $80 box, $100 box.
Oh, I love the mystery stuff. Yeah.
Somebody wins a Milwaukee kit. One year we gave away 10 Milwaukee kits.
Yeah. So it's just a thought for a different giveaway type. I know you do a lot of stuff, dude.
If I could think of a way to sell 4,000 of something, I'm
telling you. I'm telling you, you might be surprised. I'm telling you. You don't want to start out small. Give away a Milwaukee Impact. If somebody buys $5, somebody buys like the Devils, every person that buys a Devil's finger, if you netted out selling 2,000 Devil's fingers in a week, the math is that it covers the cost of the tool, and everybody's a winner. You know what I mean? Like you see what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm.
I like these types of giveaways, in my opinion. They just seem a lot more valuable because I don't ever enter in a lot of giveaways, which not that I care anyways, but in these car giveaways that these guys are doing, you absolutely bet your ass that I will spend $65 on a website, and if I'm getting 2 T-shirts, I never feel like I'm losing.
Yeah, I mean we've done a lot of giveaways through the years, and I've never ever done $5 to enter. To me that's you're kind of in my opinion, it's a scam. If I sell you something with a value, then I can sleep at night. Like the Devil's Fingers. We did a blind release because we wanted to try something different, and I don't think anybody's going to say, "Oh, I'll get that one guy." Trust me, that's like this thing ain't worth $13 or $18, but it is.
Yeah, you're not losing the value. I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, that's what I'm. That's why I like buying stuff from you because I know that you go out of your way to give people fair deals. People might not like how you talk, but they don't know you. Like that's the thing and I've got to know you, and I know that, like, I don't care what people think. You know, you got to get to know somebody. I've never been a judgmental person. Now, granted, me and you started off, but I didn't hate you. I actually said I told you I got the comment. My first comment to you was, "Oh, that's cool." I literally complimented you, and then the next time it was like it got off the rails, and then it got off track, and then it got crazy.
I'm an acquired taste.
Huh? Yeah. Well, dude, I'm not acquired taste too, but the thing about it is I'm not a pushover neither. You know, I mean, I'm not. I'll fight back. You want to fight me? I'll fight you back. You know, I'm not. I mean, yeah, it was. But I'm not mad at you. Like it was a misunderstanding at best, and it was a friendship that was meant to be.
Absolutely.
You know.
We got some good shows and good times ever since, you know.
Oh, dude! I mean, we got more to come.
I got more gas in this tank. But listen, guys, it's after midnight.
Yeah,
I'm tired. It's been a long day. It's been a long week, and that's all I got. But yeah, I had a good time. We got to do this again. You didn't do a live show. I guess when are you doing a live show tomorrow or no? CP?
No, I gave up my spot to Steve tonight to celebrate his 2 years. I was figuring maybe 80. I figured 50 to 80 guys might come over here. It's ridiculously hard. I can get 100 people to show up in my chat, but I shared on my stream 3 times or my page 3 times, and I can't. I wanted to see my guys come over and give Steve some love and help the guy out, and you know, I mean, like I just, you know, doing friendly things. I've been watching Steve's channel forever. He's a great guy.
I've always said that, you know, like you think that's how it's supposed to work. Like on Facebook, I have 200,000 followers on Facebook. So I thought when I went to YouTube, I'd have 100,000 in like one day. It doesn't work like that. You know, I'm sucking wind to get to 12. You know, it's you know, even on TikTok, I thought that would be slow going. That was pretty quick, but I mean, like. Nothing's fast, and the same people that watch YouTube don't do Instagram, don't do Facebook. It's just different people. It's the way it is.
Yeah,
you know?
It is. It is definitely the armchair quarterbacks who like to tell people how things are. You know what? Walk a mile in a man's shoes before you judge a man, and I wholeheartedly don't try to judge people, and I've never been that way. I don't like to. I have an attitude problem sometimes, but at the end of the day, I don't walk up to anybody. And if you're wearing a suit, I don't look at you as being some sort of respectable person. Respect is earned and not given, you know. And that's just kind of how I am. I mean, I look at everybody. If you're a homeless man, or you're a rich man, or you're a blue collar man, every which way. I don't, and I've never been. Like I realize this world is very jaded and shallow anymore, and it's so sad because there's so many good people out there that people overlook. You know, like they just don't know.
The problem is everybody hides behind the internet these days, and it's easy to excuse me. Everybody lashes at everybody because it's on the internet. And like it's so funny. Like we'll do TikTok, and people are like, "Oh, Home Depot's got better prices. Home Depot's got better prices." And I'm saying to myself, here I am, providing some sort of entertainment on this TikTok, form, and you're throwing me under the bus, and you're supporting Home Depot. But if I go away, who are you going to watch? Home Depot's not going to do a show. You know,
nope, they don't give a crap.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, people they want entertainment. They want to be on their phone swiping, watching shit. But you know, God forbid I make a few dollars. You know.
Oh, dude, that's the biggest thing. YouTube. Hey, if you're making money on YouTube, you're wrong. You are a thief, which I don't understand that mentality yet. I haven't figured that out because there's guys that are making, like Whistle and Diesel is making thousands of dollars and throwing it away. And granted, he's got haters, but yet you're going to attack some guy with a couple thousand subscribers. Yeah. Like, why is the mentality of this world like this?
Listen, I spent. We bought a whole bunch of new equipment today. You know, for better quality sound and lighting, and I bought a monitor. I bought mics. I bought what else? Something else. a monitor I could see. You know, so I bought 3 things. I don't even know what it was, but they bought it.
Right.
And I'm sure it's $800-900 on this fucking shit that I'm gonna make, you know, $100-200 a month. It's
well, I mean, the only good thing you got going for you is at least you can sell some tools from it. You know, a guy like me, I got to sell myself and my time for free. You know, I mean, like you think the $800 I get a month is making me money from the 15 hours a week I put into YouTube? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm invested in this so heavily now. I don't know how to get out.
right.
You know, I mean, it's like I made 800 plus videos, and it's like I can't stop now. I'm on the train, and it's going too fast. But I enjoy it. The people I've met, Nick, I would have never met you if I would have done YouTube. I never met Steve. I would have never met all these guys from all over the country. I would have never met Steve-O. I would have never met all these guys all over the country had I not done YouTube. And at the end of the day, that is more priceless. That's priceless, more priceless than any tool you can buy, any money you can make. I mean, like, I would love to be able to visit all these people, meet all these people, you know, come to their shops, work with them. That is my dream. That is my dream with YouTube, is to be able to come to Jersey someday, show up in the shop and be like, put on a JD Tico shirt, start stuffing some envelopes. You know, look at that, free labor, and I get to make a video.
We had a guy from where the fuck? We had a guy from Maine come in this week. We had a guy from Australia. The furthest was Australia. We had a guy from Australia come in. But, you know, it's people from all over the country. You know, these guys are there's a lot of training centers out here on the East Coast. So these guys are coming in for GM training, Ford training, Hyundai training, Nissan training, and you know they make it a point to come by the store and visit, which is awesome. You know, we welcome everybody. You know, come on in.
Yeah,
we got to use the bathroom. We got a snack bar, coffee, water, whatever you want. You know, we're.
That's, you know what, that's a side of Nick nobody knows about too. Like, that's what people think, that you're just this guy that gets on there and slams the table. But people don't really know is that you're one of the nicest guys out there, and have been, I mean, you've been, your hospitality to me without even meeting me has been bar none. And how you've treated me as a customer has been absolutely, that customer service, dude. People lost that, and you're still holding on to it. You know what I mean? Like, those old school values, like, that's what I mean, you call me a boomer if you want, but boys, you can't buy that service from almost any company anymore. JD Tico is still offering it for free.
I hope, you know, like, the world has changed. You know, I had a couple of old timers in here today, and they're talking about, like, you know, back in the day, you went to Sears, you went to a place called Consumer Distributor, there was catalogs, you used to order stuff, you know, stores you'd walk in, there'd be stuff and touch it, you know, plumbing supply houses. You know, all that stuff's gone. You know, everybody's ordering everything on the internet. But, like, you know, my store, you walk in my store, you could touch the impact. You put it in your hand, you could feel the weight of it. You know, because you might put an impact in your hand and be like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. I don't like it. Or, you know, this battery's too heavy, this battery's too small. You know, it does, you know, and, you know, and I think, you know, I could be wrong, but I think I'm hoping, I'm praying that, like, we get back to, like, the way it used to be, where, you know, people have stores, people come in and they look at stuff, touch stuff. I hate the internet as far as, like, Amazons and shit like that. It sucks. I mean,
and once again, you know what? Like, this is one of those things where I don't like those handling companies. Granted, when you're getting a tool from Milwaukee, you're not manufacturing, but the difference is that customer service is what separates you from places like ISN, Medco. They don't have to deal with the customer. They get to sell the tools, make money, and they don't have to do any of that hard labor like you do, where you're actually putting in the effort, talking to customer. Yeah, dude, you're the one that's not making the money that you should.
Listen,
versus
I'm the president of the company, and I cleaned the fucking bathroom today. Ooh, I swore. And I cleaned the bathroom today. Right. I broke down more cardboard boxes today than you can imagine. You know, I ate my salad at my desk, where I always, you know, yell and scream while talking to 3 customers that were in the store. You know. Yeah.
Exactly.
I see what you said there. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, dude. And that's the stuff, though, that people miss out. Like, that's what people are missing in this world is the tangible service of, like, that right there. That, you know, like, you go to a Home Depot, none of those people care. You know, they don't know nothing. They don't have any investment into it. They're just there for a job. And that's why I like what you're doing, because it is a service that you just cannot, that people are missing it. They're losing out on it, and we have to preserve that.
Yeah.
So a good salesman, and a good tool store was a personable service, and it's not a thing of the past. It's a thing of the future.
I hope it's coming back.
I really do.
It takes people like Nick, families, to bring it back.
Yeah.
I think it's important, and maybe people will start to realize that, and we'll actually start to see it come back again. Because Amazon truly sucks. Like, I buy on Amazon, I put Amazon links to stuff, but I wish that wasn't the way I buy stuff. I wish I could go to a store like Nick's or just some family store just around the corner and get the stuff that I want, because I'd rather go and see people instead of looking at a screen and clicking a button.
Well, the best part about it is Nick is competing with those big box stores, and he's still a small family business. That says work, that takes a lot more work than people realize. And that's what I respect about him, and he doesn't get enough credit for, is that when you're that type of person, you're not just pushing tools off and saying, hey, every Joe Blow, get onto my website, buy tools. I've seen you do the work. I've heard you do the work. I know you're doing the work behind the scenes. You talk about it in your YouTube videos. Like, you're doing more than any other person on the entire planet as far as the tool business right now.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, Nick Jr. does a great job. You're doing a great job. Frankie's wanting to get involved with it. I mean, you understand, like, you're building something that we lost in translation. Amazon, you go on there, and you can't talk to anybody on Amazon. You have to go through the computer. It's ridiculous.
And I'm not in a store 5 days a week. I'm in there like 2.5,
Right.
But if somebody calls up with a scanner question, and they hand me the phone, and if I'm there, and then that's, you call. Could you imagine ordering a scanner on Amazon and trying to get?
I hate it.
Will this work on this? I mean, it's, you can't do it. We can answer any question that you call us. We can answer any question. If we can't answer a question, I mean, that'd be a rarity.
I'll be the first to admit I've given up on fighting on the Amazon train, because it's just not going away. I mean, people love the convenience of just buying it, and they ask me for links for Amazon. Hey, you got an Amazon link all the time, and I'm like, if I'm going to give you an Amazon link, I'm going to get an affiliate link, because if I got to share it, it's worth that. it's worth the 25 cents that I gave you the link for.
I always say, man, don't work. I always say I don't work for nothing, and nobody should work for nothing.
You were the one that convinced me that this was the better option to go for, because I was like, dude, I was putting in, like, I'm not even kidding you. I had 30, 40 messages a day. Hey man, can you say, and I'm like pulling up JB tools and all these, and I'm like, dude, if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to send people to JD Tico, and if he doesn't have it, then I'm going to go to Amazon and at least get a 25 cent spiff off of it. Listen, because
you got to remember one thing. Most of these websites, okay, with a name, are getting directed back to one of the tool warehouses that you don't like. I'm going to leave it at that.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're 100% right. And, dude, the thing about it is Amazon affiliate links. I don't know why people think you make so much money. Dude, I make $40 a month on Amazon. I will share that with anybody who wants to see it. Like $40 a month on Amazon affiliate links. The amount of people that you have to have on your channel to make a lot of money on an Amazon affiliate link is dumb. Dumb. Yeah. I said 663 sales on Amazon last month, and I made $40. Yeah. Like, if you're worried about me making $40, don't, get out of here.
Off that you made $40.
Yeah. If you're pissed off, I made $40. Don't even come around me. Get out. I mean, I earned that $40 all tooth and nail by researching and putting it on the link. I know it's just click and point, and you think that is, but answering the question, talking to a guy 3 or 4 questions while I'm working on a car. I mean, like, it takes time. Time is money, and
I can't tell you how many times I'll buy something. I'll buy a couple of cases of tools, bring them in, right? And by the time I get them, there's somebody else, online, whether it's a Home Depot or, whatever, JB or fucking whoever, selling it cheaper. So now what do? I can't sell it, because as soon as I post it, they're like, well, this guy's got it cheaper. So I put it in, let it sit there for 6 months. And when they run out of inventory, then I could sell mine. It happens to us all the time. It's not an easy business.
The sad thing is, you buy it from Home Depot and then you have a problem. How are you going to return it? Dude, I've gotten screwed on Amazon stuff. I bought a bed. Did I ever tell you the story about Amazon and me? Bought a bed, lifetime guaranteed bed, and then got it and it broke. Okay. And I should have known better in the first place. It was a metal frame. I just bought the metal frame because I was getting away from a box spring and I wanted a nice mattress. So I thought, hey, I'll buy a nice mattress. I'll spend more money on a nice mattress, buy this metal frame. And then my buddy told me, he's like, dude, you want a platform bed? That's the way to go. Anyways, long story short, metal frame broke. I'm a big guy. And, maybe when you're using it as a workbench, it's not the smartest thing. Broke the bed. I call Amazon. Call Amazon, warranty it out. Try to warranty it out. And do you think I got my money back or the bed warranty? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. And so there's things on Amazon that I will not touch buying. I won't buy Milwaukee or DeWalt, which I don't even think they even sell anymore on there. And if it's not a Lyle tool, I won't buy it because I know I'm going to get Lyle will stand behind it off Amazon. I know Gearwrench will stand behind it off Amazon. I know there's tool companies that will stand behind their stuff. So majority of the time, that's like one of my stipulations. If Amazon's going to sell it, then I want to know who's going to take care of the warranty. Because I went rounds with Amazon. I literally spent 3 months trying to get this bed warranted, sent them pictures. They made up every excuse in the book as to why I wasn't able to warranty it. And I spent $300 on the frame.
Yeah, listen, we as far as like people, I know people think we don't warranty tools. We warranty tools all the time for people. And a lot of times it's we eat the shipping, but it is what it is. If we're going to be out there trying to give you guys good service,
right?
If it costs us a few bucks with shipping, we'll do it.
Yep.
But Milwaukee's got to, in my opinion,
they take care of you. You take care of your customer. It's a win-win. I mean, I as much as I hate Milwaukee, I understand why dealers are going, why they suck. Regardless of how they care about the tool, the reason why they use them is because a tool dealer's biggest concern is who's going to take care of it. Just like I just said, and Milwaukee gives you guys ease of service, peace of mind. They give you peace of mind on how to warranty the tool. I know I'm not worried because I have a DeWalt rep that will take care of me. It's one of my good friends, and if he doesn't take care of me, I will literally burn his house down. And I get lifetime warranty batteries. I told you that before. I mean, my reasons for going with DeWalt are far beyond what Milwaukee could offer me. That's all there is to it. I don't. And not only that, I had bad luck with them, and I had bad service. That's another thing. I had bad service with Milwaukee. I had bought mine from Northern Tool. Had I bought them from JD Tico, probably would have been a different story. I had bad service. I bought my tools, and my 1/4-inch hex driver broke the spring, which is a known issue on them. The spring broke on it, and I took it back. It immediately soured me from Milwaukee. I had to wait almost 2 months to get the tool fixed and returned.
Where did you bring it to get fixed?
I took it back to Northern. I had it 2 weeks, Nick. And I took it back to Northern where I bought it from, and I go, this thing broke. And they said, not only did they make me return my stubby impact with it because it was a kit, they said, you got to return it all.
Well,
and to get it fixed.
If anybody who's watching this ever has a problem with a Milwaukee tool, any Milwaukee tool, you just go.
You don't want that.
What's that?
You don't want to take on all this.
2 seconds. You go on Milwaukee eService and fill out a thing. They'll send you a shipping label prepaid. You put it in a box, put the piece of paper in a box, send it. You'll have your tool back in 7 to 10 days. Boom. Easy peasy.
That's not bad.
Well, I don't know why Northern had such a task doing it.
Because people are lazy and they want to. I'm not saying you're lazy, but this is everybody in the world, and they're like, my tool broke, and it's like, well, you know what? But if you would have sent it, you would have had it back by now. But you wanted to bring it to your cousin's friend's sister who works at a Milwaukee place that they sold Milwaukee tools at one time. But if you would have listened to Nick, downloaded your shipping label, put it on a box, put one in the box, and sent it, you would have had it back by now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm spoiled because I bought everything off the tool truck, and I always get a loaner tool. And so that's my other thing is that my DeWalt rep, he gives me a loaner tool. So if I have a problem with that's my other biggest problem is I don't want to be without my tool at all. So that's and when they had it for it was 6 weeks. They had it for 6 weeks. When they had it for 6 weeks, I was absolutely infuriated. By the time I got it back, I didn't want it. And I'd already bought a Mac replacement for it. And I said, you know what? If I have to do this every time I have a Milwaukee tool fixed, I'd rather have herpes.
I mean, like, you know, as a whole, you know, we sell a lot of Milwaukee, a lot, and I sell a lot on my route.
Well,
it really, I mean, it's, and that's the problem with air tools, because a lot of time with air tools are great. Don't get me wrong, but the problem with air tools is nobody services their compressors. Everybody's giving their tools dirty, grimy air. And that's why these tools aren't lasting. Electric tools, there's none of that. You know, as long as you plug a battery in, you're good to go. And you know, in cordless tools, I mean, listen, my area is unlike any other area. My guys are animals, and I mean, water could be squirting out of that air hose like.
Dude, I saw a TikTok video the other day where a guy was power washing a truck wheel with his air hose. I was like, "What in the Sam biscuit is going on here?"
That's how my area is. My area is.
My God, never have I been in a shop that bad, dude.
I mean, even like the cordless tools, these guys come in my truck, this thing's broken, they hand it to me. And I'm like, I'm not even going to touch it. Just put it on the floor. You know, it's like, you can't even know what color it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can imagine when you get a red Milwaukee tool and it's black and you're like, there's no boot on this.
Oh, my God. Yeah, like, you know, in my area is like, you know, again, nobody speaks any English. My area is crazy, but I mean, like, it's.
Oh, dude, those guys are hardworking and they definitely abuse their tools and don't care. They just want to get it taken care of.
People, they pay their bills.
Yeah. And, I understand. Yeah. I got some.
Like, taking care of their tools? No.
No, I got some. I got some buddies that are some Mexican descent, and I will tell you when they come around, like, oh, look at this, he's CP the tool addict. Oh, his tools are better than everybody else. Hey, CP, look at my tool, it works. I bought it from I'm Afraid. Huh? What do you think? And it breaks. I go back. I buy another one. I put this one in the box. I take it back. Yeah, they're good guys, but yeah, they don't care. There's a lot of people that don't care. Yeah. I will say. I mean, there's a lot of people on the internet. We see a lot of guys that are in these chats and whatnot that care, but there is a lot of guys that are talking just like Nick that just are like, listen, brother, I got better things to do.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything, but yeah, my guys are they're definitely a tough crowd. All right, guys, listen, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed.
Yes, it is.
I appreciate this. It was a good time. And we'll do it again sometime. And
we got to do Nate. We've got to do a JD Tico. I'm supposed to be on. We're supposed to come on to do a live on your channel. Remember?
Yeah, we'll have
a banger night.
We gotta get a night and do it. But you know, definitely Friday. I know you do a Friday show, so I mean, yeah, we should.
Whenever, dude. It doesn't matter. I won't care. I will give up my spot for you, brother.
We got Nick. I want Nick Jr. here though too, so it'll be like both of us. I got new equipment coming, so we'll do it then.
Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by, Nick, and thanks for helping to sponsor the giveaway. That was pretty awesome. I'll get with you.
Sure, I gotta tell Nick I did this, so he puts the thing in a box, so I'll forget.
Yeah,
I gotta remember Turbo Tie. You got to get a hold of Nick and then have the JD Tico tool detail. I gotta send that. I probably should send you that.
I'm gonna forget this whole conversation. I'm drinking water. I'm not drinking. Right. But I'm gonna forget all this conversation tomorrow. So just hit me up Monday.
I will. Devil's finger. And you can remind me too, Ty. Just send me a message too, so I don't forget too, because I definitely will. I'll be also involved with football tomorrow. I won't remember what I did last night either, but yeah, definitely awesome. I appreciate Steve for having me on.
Peace.
Yep. Peace. See you. And congrats to Tarek, OG, Scuba Fishing Stevo, and Turbo Tai for winning the giveaways tonight. Thanks to CP for being on the channel with us here. Thanks to all of you in the chat for celebrating our 2nd year on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Have a good night. Peace.
Later haters, later gators.